too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin, trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it, like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Tej Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Tej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Tej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Tej Hanley. And because Tej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tej Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30. Feel the Tej. Let the Tej force be with you. It's go time. Let's just have a conversation. How y'all doing, family? What's going on, family? Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Let me go and introduce the crew. We got the real Precious. We got Rosa, Lady Di, Sweeney, Carol, the Angry Man, Mrs. Walker, Ali, Fantasy Island Girl, me, myself, and Lapeef JR. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. What's going on, family? What's going on?
Hola, hola, hola.
Hey JR. Hey everybody.
Well, how did you get the famous Marjani Walker on the panel? What?
Just don't do that. Don't do that.
Uh-oh.
That's how I'm here.
They must be missing something. What's going on, Bruiser? What the hell you got on?
That's my brother, for real, for real. We got the same birthday. I'm the woman version of him.
So that's what we is. We back on call.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I don't know if you've been watching my content, but if you're gonna be the woman version, you gotta step your game up today.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, it's good to see
Anger
you.
Man ain't saying that. What? Anger Man? What's up, Anger Man? Light-skinned brother, light-skinned God. What?
You about to start up again. See, I already told you, you and Ali been taking up all the light skin over here. I gotta come over here and represent. You feel me?
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Glad to have you here, Angry Man. Your perspective is fresh. So we look forward to hearing what you got to say on these topics. Good to see you guys. Some people suit chatting already said, welcome back, JR. Yeah, I'm back. That's something else that came. We had a new member, CC. Welcome to the Green Gang. If you guys would like to become a member, click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's important. This is going to be a phenomenal show. And I would hate for anybody to miss this greatest show on earth. With that being said, shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. So make sure you guys click that link, get 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. It's time for us men to start taking care of our skin. Let's get it right. Summertime is right around the corner. You know what that means. We out here. We out here. Man, y'all could have gave me some head nods, some acknowledgement or something. I thought that was pretty dope when I said that, but I guess the panel wasn't feeling it. Everybody had a stale face. I guess I'm still a little rusty. Been gone a little bit. It'll get better. It'll get better in time. How y'all feeling, man? Bruiser, what's up with your setup, man? Like you on the moon.
I'm in Virginia. You know, my son's first birthday out here, so.
Oh, happy birthday!
DMB,
I couldn't take that cinematic setup. I feel like a woman without her makeup right now.
Right, you look like you just got out the shower.
The way you keep
Yeah.
closing your shit. What's going on, bro?
Hey, y'all just be, hey, y'all ladies better be lucky this camera ain't a little low. I had y'all divorced.
Nah, bro, we not trying to get canceled.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not trying to get canceled, man. Easy.
Yeah, I ain't lying.
Okay. All right, just keep it PG, man. Keep it PG.
What's up, Sweeney?
Resting in your femininity today, Bruiser. Sweeney, the camera be sitting low, man. You got that JB look, man. I don't know if you know who Jonathan Barronville is. He used to sit like that, man. And then when you see him in person, he was actually taller than what you expected. You on mute, Sweeney.
I say, oh no, I'm regular height.
Okay. All right, I'm just saying the way your camera position. I was trying to help you out, man. Y'all ain't
just real quick. Hold on.
Fucking with me, man. Let me call Trigger Mike back, man. This some bullshit. Some bullshit here. Trigger Mike, if you I seen you chatted, man. We need you back up here, man. I guess they don't fuck with me no more.
Nah, you good. Stop playing.
Okay, I'm just trying to. I thought I got canceled, man. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started, man. Our first topic of the night. It's just the icebreaker. I like to kind of keep it light on the first topic, so it may not be what you expected, but I still think it's going to turn out to be a dope conversation. The more you chase the market concept of happiness, the further you will drift away from the authentic happiness that lives within you. Give me a little grace with this because it is 2 minutes. We'll go ahead and play the context, and then we're going to go ahead and have this discussion. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy Island Girl, you ready? You on phone? You ready? All right. I've been working on this new technology where I'm going to send out a signal to disable all electronics behind the scenes. Along with the chat. It's coming. Stay tuned. Yeah. I'm just spit it up in the AI and see if they can do it for me. Here we go.
Marley once said, evangelists taking pictures of the little kids exploiting the images, and this is what the image is. So he's basically talking about how people go to Africa, they take pictures of the kids in Africa, and then they show the pictures to the rest of the world and create the narrative that these children are not happy. Look, the poor man's mind was a rich man's idea. Let me repeat that. Put that in the comment section if you feel that, if you hear that. Like, the poor man's mind was a rich man's idea. It's impossible to be broke around the world on the same level. So when you allow yourself to feel broke, you become broken. Your self-esteem, your confidence, the love that you have for self, the commitment that you need to have to actually win. So you have a car, but you want a better car, a newer car. You have a house, but you want a bigger house, a newer house. You have a relationship, but you want a better relationship. So you're always in a chase. So you're not creating your own narrative of what your happiness should be. Most of us as children, we didn't have much, but we didn't know what we didn't have. We were too busy just living the environment. We was too busy connected to the environment. So we loved everything about it. Until you grow or you see a different reality. And I'm not saying that we should settle and sit in worlds or sit in moments that brought us pain. What I'm telling you is you should always control the narrative of what makes you happy. You should always control the narrative of what makes you feel whole. Do not allow someone to sell you a perspective or market you a perspective of a lifestyle that you start to chase, and you start to feel overwhelmed, and you start to feel broken, and you put things in the middle of your joy. I'll be happy when I get a new car. I'll be happy when I get a new house. I'll be happy when I get new, different. And you're always chasing, so you never allow yourself to start working on your happiness. You never allow yourself to start building the true things that genuinely make you happy. You always put something in the middle. And that's where marketing takes place. People will sell you the thing that you think you should have, or the thing that you think you need to be happy, when you could just say to yourself, I'm just going to decide to be happy and work on my happiness. And when I find happiness, I'll be happy.
That was pretty long. So if somebody says they don't understand what was just said, it just means you just zoned out. Kind of threw a curveball for you guys. You know, got you guys probably was expecting some ratchet, right? That's a little
No.
that's a little late in the stream. Want to have a little bit of high IQ dialogue today. How does that sound?
That
Great.
sound good,
Sounds
man.
good to me.
Sounds good.
And-
Sounds good.
I'll throw some ratchet in next, and then after that, then we'll go ahead and have high IQ. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The more you chase the market concept of happiness, the further you will drift away from the authentic happiness that lives within you. Who had a good understanding of that? Who wants to go ahead and get into this first? Fantasy Island Girl, we'll go to you. I seen you jumped off that mic first. Go ahead.
So, I think a lot of things that people find happiness in, other people don't really find it entertaining, so they kind of push it to the side. But I think it's important for us to focus on not chasing what the idea of happiness is, the trips, the perfect body, the perfect man, the perfect child, the perfect life, and instead focus on doing the things that make you feel good inside. Like I love to do Legos and I love to play the game. So even though that's not conventionally cool, or especially not for women, I still do it because it still brings me happiness. It makes me excited. So I think regardless of the stigma, we should be focused on the things that actually bring us joy, and it'll exude outward when we are feeling that happiness, I think.
All right. Let me go ahead and get one of the men up in here. Go ahead, Bruiser.
So in this particular video, I think it's what he was talking about is control over media, misrepresentation. When you don't have control over media as a race of black people, man, you can be easily misrepresented because you don't want to control it. You can display how you can't display how things truly are. I picked up on it by studying and doing research. And watching people like my man Angry Man right here, who actually take the time to reveal the motive behind what is being displayed. In most cases, these people want to trigger an emotion, to get a particular response. And a lot of times that actually relates to their business purpose. So you got to surround yourself with people. You got to study and do the research behind a lot of the stuff you see before you go delving into it.
All right. Shout out to Angry Man. Go ahead, Real Precious. What are your thoughts about it? It's like I'm teaching a class or something like that. Tell everybody don't want to be called on.
So when I end my shows, I always say be real with yourself so you can be real with others. What makes others happy is not necessarily gonna make you happy. What you see out in the media, I never believe what I see out in the media on social media. I don't believe any of it because I don't really know you and you don't really know me. So I think that sometimes we see things and we're like, oh, that looked like it'll be great to do. Let me go do it because it's making so-and-so happy and it's making them money. A lot of times, a lot of happiness is surrounded around money. That's going to make me a lot of money, but is it going to make you happy, or are you going to be miserable? You're going to be begging to get out of it. So I think we have to be honest with ourselves. Like Fantasy Island Girl says, she likes to do Legos and gaming. That's not the norm for women, but she does it because she likes it, and it's fulfilling to her. And I think that everybody needs to do something that's fulfilling to them than something that's pleasing other people. And it starts at home. We do things to please our parents, or, we go to this school because our parents went there, or we, do a certain, but then when you leave your parents' house, it's like, okay, who are you? Are you walking in your parents' footsteps, or are you doing what you want to do? What's real to you? And sometimes what makes you happy is not going to make other people happy.
Nope.
So it's going to seem like, you're different. It's going to seem like you're not doing the cool thing. After home, it went to school, the popular crowd. Who's in the popular crowd? Who everybody want to hang out with? But a lot of people don't get out of that mindset of doing what everybody else is doing. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't care to do what everybody else is doing. So I think I agree with it. And then with the kids in Africa, they do that. They do that. We know they do that. And then you talk to anybody that lived in Africa, and they show y'all the worst parts of Africa on TV. Them kids, their kids, them dancing is them being happy. Half of us can't even bust a move in front of public because we fear that somebody going to talk about how we dancing and how we moving. So do what makes you happy. Do what puts a smile on your face. Forget everybody else. And that's all I got.
All right. Brother Ali, what are your thoughts, sir?
I think the word, with no disrespect to anybody, I think Precious hit on it more than anybody else. But I still take in consideration what everybody said. I think happiness is overused a lot. I think the purpose should be replaced with happiness. I think, and if you're using purpose and you're essentially in your purpose, happiness ends up being is a state, more so a destination you get to where a lot of people don't get to. But I think it starts off with remember where you come from. And I think a child, when they're born and when we were born, I believe that support system and that love and being surrounded around people that love you and value you is the greatest state of happiness you'll ever have in your life. And I think if anything knocks you off of that purpose, of things that happened to you, what your parents were supposed to do to you, what the village was supposed to do to you, what your friends, what all the support group was supposed to do, you'll be chasing things forever to fill that void of having that love around you. So I think a lot of us are chasing things every single day. We go to sleep miserable, unhappy, pretending that we're happy, trying to make other people think we're happy and base our lives by how they see us. And a lot of us are living fictitious lives. But I think when we truly are surrounded by people who love us and support us, especially having a strong family dynamic, I think that's a true state of happiness versus trying to always get to a destination of happiness.
All right, let me get Lady Di in there, an angry man. Lady Di, what are your thoughts about it? Chasing the market concept of happiness.
Honestly, I don't like that video because if you just dig a little deeper, some people's happiness is to destroy. Some people's happiness is to be lazy, sit on the couch and not do anything, right? So if we just say, find your happiness, do what makes you happy, what if it's in a negative way? Like, it's not about what the approval is, it's just what's right, what's morally right. So we go by the term of, well, what your happiness is. I think that's dangerous. So if you are a spiritual person, you find happiness in the Bible, learn what happiness is in that. And like what Ali was saying, your purpose. So whatever God's will is for you, I think you should probably tap into that a little bit more, because a lot of things that we may believe is happy is not. It's just what we like to do, right? But what we like to do might not be something that is right to do. So we shouldn't focus on that, because if you focus on happiness, this year you could be happy by doing, playing the game, right? Next year, but that's nothing harmful. You could be happy by, hating on somebody because you don't like the way how they're acting or how they're looking. that brings happiness to some people. Next year, you be like, you know what? I'm gonna change. I'm not gonna do that no more. Then you find something else that's destructive, but it makes you happy though. So I don't want to look at the happy word like, no, I just think you should do whatever your purpose is, whatever your God's will is, that's your true happiness. And, you should wrap it into the Bible and figure out what that is. That's happiness to me.
Oh, yeah. Now your man chime in on this. What's your thoughts about it, sir?
Okay, so I had a problem with the video too, because the dude was speaking brokenese. And I think there's a lot of guys that try to rationalize their level of mediocrity, and they try to pass it off as some sort of altruism about happiness. But the only problem was he laid out everything that supposedly doesn't make you happy, like money and material things, but he didn't say what does make him happy. So it's like this elusive myth that he's chasing, because the same way you could be chasing materialism, chasing money, you could be chasing the idea of happiness too. The reality is happiness is not a state of being any more than sadness or mourning is. It's something that comes in small doses. There's certain things you're going to do that's going to make you happy. There's certain things you're going to do that's going to make you sad. It's not a constant state of existence. But whenever guys talk about, oh, you shouldn't pursue materialism or you shouldn't pursue money. But what if that makes you happy? What if it makes you happy to level up? What if it makes you happy to get a bigger house or a better car or any of those things? The one thing that I know about life is that life is a constant competition from the moment that you're born all the way up until the day you die. And whatever your purpose is, you're going to constantly be competing with yourself to see if you can improve the next day better than you did the day before. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. To me, there's nothing wrong with striving for excellence. People can call it materialism. They can call it pursuing money or whatever, but I'm not happy when I can't pay my bills. I'm not happy when somebody in my family needs help and I don't have any money. You know what I'm saying? So that whole concept of, oh, well, money doesn't make you happy. If money don't make you happy, you're not shopping at the right stores.
But if someone offered you money, a large sum of money, or to live, which one would you pick?
If someone offered me what?
A large sum of money, or to live, which one would you pick?
Or to live?
Yeah.
That question is illogical, because how would I spend the money if I was, that doesn't make sense. So you're saying if I got the money, I would die?
No. If someone said your last day on earth, would you pick for your last day on earth, or would you pick for a large amount of money?
How is that in comparison though?
That doesn't,
would you pick to live, or would you pick the money? It's a question. Would you pick to live, or would you pick the money?
But the question is not logical.
Okay.
It's not, like, it's not making, I'm not trying to be funny. It's not making sense to me. The question is not making sense to me.
It sounds like she's saying, do you want to know the date of your death if you could get a large lump sum of money? Or would you choose to just live with mysteriously not knowing when you're going to die?
Okay, I'm going to try to make sense of this. Are you saying, would I rather live a long, happy life with no money, or live a short life with a lot of money? Is that what you're saying?
Right. If you didn't know that you were going to pass away, yet someone offered you a large sum of money, would you pick the large sum of money?
No, I value my life more than money, if that's what you're asking. I value my life.
You're going to lose it regardless. So,
but I mean, at the end of the day, I value my life more than money, so I'm not going to pick money over my life.
Right, so you're not a lover of money.
In that equation, no, I'm a lover of what money affords me to be able to do, what money affords me, how money affords me to be able to live. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not I'm not going to be Scrooge McDuck and have just a freaking bin full of money that I swim in every day. The whole purpose of the money is for me to be able to take care of the things I need to take care of so that I and my family can live a comfortable life. I don't see anything wrong with pursuing that.
No, it's nothing wrong with that. I was just making sure you just weren't a lover of money, because that's where the problems come in, when people are a lover of money. There's nothing wrong with, we're supposed to be prosperous. We're supposed to live in abundance. But when we focus so much on the money, not realizing that at any point it can be taken away, would you still be happy? Would you still be able to live a fulfilled life?
But I don't think that I genuinely do not believe, and I could be naive in this, I genuinely don't believe that it's people that just love money. I think people love what money can do for them. I think people love the power that they get from money, or the ability to get certain things from money. I think the money is just the tool to get to that.
Yeah, but you have people that are deleting themselves that have money, and they're not necessarily happy.
And guess what?
But they're not unhappy because of the
they
money.
weren't happy. Here's the thing.
They're not unhappy because of the money.
Here's the thing with the money, right? So whenever you see people that have a lot of money and they're still miserable, that person had something wrong with them before they got the money. There was something inside of them that they didn't fix before they got the money. You see what I'm saying? So that we try to associate money, the lack of or having an abundance of money, with our mental state. And a lot of times our mental state is separate from that. The money just makes it worse. You see what I'm saying?
Just like when some ladies believe they can have a kid and that's going to keep the man, when y'all both already had problems before you even try to trap somebody with a child. It's the same concept. Like, that doesn't work. You got to fix within yourself. Just like if you was to get money, you could be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. That's not going to change your mental problem. It's going to be able for you to hire somebody that can really help you, get the top psychiatrist. But, besides that, you don't have to have a type psychiatrist to get mental help. So money doesn't solve anything. It's just an access to more.
Well, what I got from the question is knowing the day that I'm going to die, but it comes with a price. Is that what you were saying, the real Precious?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much was just saying, would you choose to know that, or would you choose the large sum of money?
It depends on the money for me, because if it's enough money if it's way more money that I could make in my lifetime, and I could potentially make a sacrifice for somebody that I love or my kids or something, I may consider it, because I don't really know the lifespan that I have, without knowing the date. Could be tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Actually knowing that, okay, for example, when you're 61, you're going to pass away from diabetes or some shit. But, it come with $1 billion for knowing it versus not knowing it and not getting anything out of the deal. I know right now I'm on a trajectory where I can't make $1 billion, about 61. I think most people on this panel, and I'm not trying to jinx anybody or whatever, but if I was given an opportunity to make a choice like that, I might just consider it.
So you think age plays a factor?
Hey, don't play me. I'm making $1 billion before I die.
I wouldn't even say
age plays a factor. Like, if I were old, I probably would take the money quickly, because
no, I'm saying this as a 36-year-old man.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm
it's
just
not
saying for me. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The money is not that big of an issue. This is why I have an issue with what the guy was saying, because a lot of times people that talk like that are usually broke. I don't know if he's broke, but people that talk like that are usually broke. The money is not really that big of an issue, because I could lose all the money I have today. I know I can get it back. And I know I can get it back because of the mentality I have. The mentality I have is not pursuing money for the sake of money. It's pursuing excellence. It's leveling up mentally. It's leveling up as far as being a business owner and all of the things that bring the money in to afford you what you want to be able to do, because you can't do anything if you're broke. There's a lot of things that you can do for a lot of people if you're good.
So
Yeah,
I
for
look
me,
at
I
it as
feel
Yeah,
like
equivalent.
I
most of my
definitely get what you're saying. I'm just saying there are people that
Okay.
will like literally kill over money. Those are people that are like lovers of money, in my opinion. You know, they would put somebody else in jeopardy in order to make money, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. Like those are people, in my opinion, that are lovers of money.
Oh, we got a lot of that
So
in this
I get
nation.
what
How do you
you're
think
saying.
this nation was built off of that kind of mentality?
Right,
About to say that. Yep.
right.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I kind of feel a little on the edge with that because I feel like I love money, but there's just certain things I wouldn't do for money. So there's a lot of things I would do for money, to be honest. There's probably more things I would do for money than I wouldn't do for money. Like as long as it's not killing somebody or hurting someone or graping someone, having relations with someone I don't want to have relations with, like sexually. Outside of that, I'll work with people that I don't really like for money. I do that at my job now. I work for people that I don't really like for money.
What?
Yeah, like I do that. I do that a lot actually, and
OnlyFans?
I do things at my job for money that I don't really like doing. Like I don't like maintaining vehicles, but I have to do that. So things like that. I do a lot of things I realize that I don't really want to do for money. And it's because I do love money, to be real.
But does money, fantasy girl, does money make, if you didn't have money, would you be happy?
Probably not. I've never not
What?
had money. I've never
So
not had money.
you
So I
never,
don't think
so
I
you
would
never
find the
struggled.
joy in having no money. I think I would be miserable, honestly.
You never struggled before.
Girl, what happened to your Legos and game?
Right.
But
You
who's
know,
Play
but,
like,
them Legos.
but
so
who's
Yeah,
happy
play with them
broke
Legos.
though?
no, it's
I
not
don't
that
know.
you're
I haven't
like,
been broke.
it's not that you're ecstatic, but if no one has ever struggled, when you struggle, you find other ways to void, okay, I don't have money right now. I'm gonna go get that. But right now I'm not gonna be miserable because if you're miserable and you know, start being sad because you ain't got nothing, you ain't gonna get it. You have to be in a happy state of mind to sit here and strive to get some dollars.
But see, that's why I said happiness comes in doses. You can be struggling and you might go out with your friends and you're happy in that moment. But once you leave your friends and you go back to living your regular life, you go back to being stressful about the things you have to take care of. Happiness is, it's not like a static, just somebody's walking around there happy every day. That's not the way it works. And I think people think that's the way it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
I
That's
feel like
true.
I'm happy
Going
most
out with
days
your
because
friends
I've
broke
never
ain't
been
real
broke.
happiness. Like
Hmm?
that's not that even if you going out with your friends and you broke, you got a fake smile on your face. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we gotta be real with ourselves.
Well, it
You
depends
feel me?
on
Like if
it depends on who your friends are, and it depends on how good
Yeah,
of
I
a time
want
you having. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
wouldn't
saying.
even go out broke. I don't know.
Is my mic
I
I
want
just
to
don't
static
honestly.
still?
experience
Can
that.
somebody tell me my mic's still static?
Still low.
It's
it's
low now.
low.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
I'm hearing a lot of
That's
talk
okay,
about
Alan.
How about now?
I'm hearing a lot of talk about women
It's
saying
still
what
low,
they want
Alan.
to do
How about now?
do for happiness. Y'all
I
can hear me?
want to.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What Precious is ideally saying is that our life is priceless and we're supposed to love people and use things and not love things and use people. So essentially, we're going to get money to invest in people. So I think we're taking a lot of that out of context. And we're also pretending as a society as if a man now is not choosing his money over a woman choosing the money over a man, and we're choosing money over even our children. So we got to be real, like we in a society where we are chasing the superficial and money over investing in better people. Right now, our community is divided over money and clout. Right now, like people are chasing money over our investment in each other and better quality people. So when she said, if you pick your life over, let's say $1 million, your life is that precious. We went to get money to invest in each other. We weren't getting money to leave people. But what essentially is happening is people are putting more investment in material things and money than each other. We ain't just loving each other like that, especially in our community. We gotta stop pretending. And the fact that we're not loving each other, we prioritize the money. Yo, at least I got money. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't relate.
Thanks, Ali.
So I'm gonna chime
That
in
was it.
because I was a little bit late, but I listened to the video, and
basically what I got from what he was saying was just to be grateful for where you are. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna think about your growth or think about the money that you might need to get a better place or a better car if your car isn't good. It's about not thinking superficially, like Ollie's saying, that you can't be happy because you don't drive a Benz, you have a little Corolla, you live in a nice little apartment, whatever. You're not exactly where you want to be, but you're not going to put all your focus and your like life on those things, because you can still live happily and progressively in the day and still work towards your goal, and incrementally you will get there. So I feel like what he was saying is be grateful for where you are now, be present in your current state, because you're eventually gonna grow. 10 years are gonna pass and you're gonna be doing the exact same thing. It's not gonna be possible.
Oh,
So
okay, so let me ask the ladies up here a question. Would you marry a guy that's broke, that lives in a 1-bedroom apartment and drives a Toyota Corolla?
No.
It depends how old I am.
Things doesn't
I'm not at my age right now. No, I'm 35.
I was gonna say what age, because
if I was younger, if I was 21, if I was 25.
So what we're talking about here, so one of the main things that men, speaking for the men, one of the main things that men want, a lot of times more than anything, is a significant other, to be able to get a beautiful woman. So how could a broke man get one? If getting a woman and marrying her is part of his happiness, how is he going to get that happiness if he's broke?
So you're saying if you don't have a girl,
hold on real quick before y'all answer that. AM, can you reverse that question on the other side? If a man would marry them with that same thing,
he would.
He would.
Exactly.
But that's the nature of.
No, but hold on. So then, if you're saying that you only love a man because of the material possessions and with the car he has, do you essentially really love that man? Like if you have two,
you only love him for that.
See,
we're
that's the
saying
problem.
that is the requirement. We're not saying we only love him for that. We're saying being broke is a disqualifier from being my husband, and it is.
Yeah, but grandma loved our daddies with broken cars and broken houses or lack of income. Like they didn't have the best things in the world. They didn't have the best house, the best car, and they stayed together. They invested in each other. That was the least of their concern. So you got men still that would invest in women who drive a Corolla, but the women are saying that I'm not going to be with a man if he doesn't drive a Corolla. And then you don't even if you get the man that you did drive, let's say he's driving a Mercedes, you essentially may not even like that guy because he wasn't a great guy. You left the guy who had the Corolla when you really liked that guy.
But having a 1-bedroom
Can I speak?
Hold on 1 second. Having a 1-bedroom apartment and a Toyota Corolla is not broke. That's average. So let's change the definition of broke. Even if you have more money than a guy with a 1-bedroom apartment, all right, that doesn't mean that guy is broke. That's, like I said, that's average. So let's kind of like be realistic.
I thought he was saying he was broke and the only things he had were those two things. Is that what he's saying?
But wait, hold on. So if a guy has an apartment, so what if it's a 1-bedroom? It's just him. And if he has a Toyota Corolla, so what? He getting to where he got to go.
That could change.
I don't
think
him
being broke.
Dating no
dude. There's nothing wrong with him being broke.
Wait. Y'all are not dating a guy with a 1-bedroom apartment and a Toyota Corolla. Stop the cap.
And bro,
you guys think guys that drive Toyotas are not getting any love? Like,
you said, wait. Hold on. Wait. You said, how do I know that?
You're talking about the ladies right now. Today,
I'm looking at you ladies up here right now. You do not seem like the type of ladies that don't like nice things.
Well, then let me talk.
You can't go by what you
talk
see
because I haven't talked.
Because I actually done that. I've done that before, so you can't say that.
We haven't heard from
you. Don't know.
You don't know.
All right, you guys. Go ahead. Let Ms. Walker go.
Thank you so much. So I was gonna speak on because I'm a note taker, so I have a lot of points written down because we was going a lot and the video was a lot. But just for your clarification, there were like 2 points that you made. One, you said husband and not dating first. You said
I did say
husband. You're not probably going to have a husband. I have a fiance right now, and we have established our way. So by the time we are married, he's not going to be, you know, where we were when we were friends, not even dating, because we were friends first. So I think that's important, because if you're asking a question that assumably would be farther along in developing, if I even like you first, like, take material things away, because that should not be a question at hand regardless. It really should have been based off of if I even like you first. So I have seen you, and maybe I'm physically attracted to you. Like, I've seen you from the face, and oh, he's fine, he's cute. So now that I've approached you, or he has approached me because he thinks the same thing, and now, oh, you're actually funny, or I like that. Oh, you're kind to me, or whatever. Oh, he's chivalrous, he opens the door for me. Now I actually kind of like you. You know what I mean? Now we've gone on our first date, and you did the right things. Okay, you was here on time. You took me to a place that you heard me mention when we were just talking. You know, oh, now I know that you listen. Now I'm even more invested. Now I realize, okay, now you brought me to your apartment. It's a 1-bedroom. We're really past the point where the 1-bedroom should then make me reflect on everything you just did to wow me or whatever. Now I'm like, oh, I stopped there at the 1-bedroom, because if we're real.
So let me ask you a question, right?
Yes.
So you said further along. So when you start dating this guy, you expect him to progress, right?
It's not what I expect him to do. You individually as a person, because we're not talking in relationships. Yes, and I know this is a topic, but in relationships, yes, there are things you want to do for your relationship, but there are things that you should just want to do for yourself. This comes along with just talking and discussing with you. If I understand you have a future, like, that's something that you have expected for yourself, right?
So
I told my fiance in the beginning my expectations for myself, where I want to be, what I'd like to do, even the amount of children that I'd like to have. Likewise with him. So yes, if we are holding up to what we say for ourselves, you should be progressing. But I'm not here to hold you to that, because you should do that for yourself.
Okay, but you still, regardless, you expect yourself to progress a certain amount, and you expect him to have a standard for himself to progress a certain amount, right?
My only standard is to be happy. So I can't sit here and say that your level of broke, right? Because everyone's broke is different. There are people on this panel that are going to say what I'm living right now is broke to them. You know what I'm saying? But I live comfortably for me. There's other people that are like, you're in a Corolla and I don't have a 1-bedroom. I'm still in my mother's house or whatever. And there's people that don't even have that, because you can go less and less and less and less. So you also don't know what broke is to somebody. So me expecting that my man is going to have money, he might have enough money for me. My man, like, I just gave birth 5 weeks ago. Like, I literally just had a baby. So
congratulations.
The fact that, thank you.
Congrats.
So for instance, my fiance is maybe not making the type of money that some people are making. We're young, we're 24. So however, he makes enough for us to live in a 3-bedroom that we got at the beginning of this year, and I don't have to work, but I return to work. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to. So it's like, at the end of the day, that salary that might not match your salary, or, you know, his salary, or the next person's salary, that's a very iffy thing to talk about, which everything really being said is very, things are black and white. They're not black and white, because you really don't know what is going to make you happy, what's a standard, what's anything. I never had a number set for me. I didn't say my man has to make 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? I want to be happy. I
get that, but
so
I get that, but what I'm trying to get at, what I'm trying to understand is, do you expect growth and improvement, or do you expect things to remain right where they are right now?
Always growth and improvement.
Okay, so if you expect growth and improvement, that's what the guy was talking about in the video, where he said constantly chasing. And so the point that
women not being okay with a man being broke, that's what I was specifically responding to, because I have points here for the video, which I did want to get to. I'm saying specifically in terms of women not being okay with a man being broke. I'm saying you're talking about a husband instead of like going back in the beginning. Can you even start building with someone if they don't have money? You know what I mean?
Okay, and I get that. But the overall point that I'm trying to get at right now is that if a man becomes your husband, there was a level of progression, because when you made the distinction that, oh, dating and husband is different. So if you're dating a guy, he doesn't have that much, you might not necessarily marry that guy. But if you do marry him, it's because you've seen some progression, you've seen some ambition, you've seen him try to level up some, right?
Absolutely. But
Okay,
then
so
again, it's
so
not
that
everything is like written value, right? Because for instance, I've known my fiance for almost 7 years. His progression in terms of money value happened previously over the last 2 years. So you also have to see, what am I putting at stake if I say you're not moving fast enough? You're not making money quick enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things that, like, that's really dependent on what you are going to sacrifice or how long I want to wait. So if someone said, well, I'm older now, I'm not going to wait that long, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm only 24, so it's like I feel like I have time to, you know, and it worked out that way. It worked out because we put our minds to it and we said we were going to do the things that we needed to do. And even when it fell through, because you're not always up, it's been 70-30, it's been 60-40. I've had to cover bills, and in his transition of him getting a new job, and now he covers bills. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like that's very, very vague to talk on if you don't always know the situation. And you also, like, that also comes with how much I love you and what I really think at the end of the day you're going to provide. The end of the day might be, we've been dating for 3 months and you still only making $200 a week. That might be your end. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
but here's the thing though. Respectfully, you're still young.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that women are a lot more tolerant of a man's position when you're young. The older a woman gets, the less tolerant she is of your position if you are stagnant, if you're not growing. And
So are we talking about your generation or my generation? Because my generation is not like that anymore. We have city girls now. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only of my friend group that does not look for a man just because you have money. But I could say for the rest of my 24-year-olds, they're looking for someone with a dollar bill. So that's what I'm saying, is that, are you saying back?
No, what I'm saying, there are certain things that are universal to any age group. And one of the things is women who are taking a man seriously, because we're talking about city girls. We're not even talking about somebody that's really dating or wants to get married. I'm talking about people that are well-rounded, people who are, you know, dating with a purpose, like the title says, that are trying to find a significant other that they can have a serious relationship with. In those instances, women are a lot more tolerant when you are younger of your position as a man. And regardless of how you view it, us men, we understand that we have to be progressing, because we know if we're not progressing, that's when the problems come in, when you're not progressing. You see what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah.
So if you're not established, date somebody younger. If you're a man that's not so established, it'll be easier for you to date a woman younger, because then she would be able to be patient with you to grow into the man that you want to be. Eventually.
I don't know. I think she's proved that that's not so much the case now, because she's saying even of her friend group, she's the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
so
I have
more people are.
plenty of.
Yeah, I know about
more
city
people are
girls.
looking for
That
money.
it's like they want, and I'm not saying this in I want what you have, but so we are in a relationship, we have a family, we have 2 children, you know, we just gave birth, we moved in, you know what I mean, from the outside, and it's not perfect by any means, but from the outside, you know, we get a lot like, oh man, you know, you're so lucky, you know what I'm saying? I get that all the time, even from my friends, like that I'm lucky. And if anyone actually really knew our situation, like, it's very it is not the normal aspect of like I had a child already, you know what I'm saying? He has made like, people have made videos just even about how your value goes down once you have a child, like how men view you, you know what I mean? Like, we are very we have everything that you probably could go back and against it, and it's just like, but we worked, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's just like, I have many friends that, oh, I wish, and are trying with these men, but still, when we're at the club, somebody flash something or they look flashy, it's like that's appeasing to them because they got money. Or, you know, I really want happiness. I want love. I want, you know, I really want this family. Oh my God, I can't wait till I can finally have a child. But still are seeking people that it's like, oh, when I go to this store, I know he's about to pay for my clothes when we go to the mall. Oh yeah, you know, so-and-so, I got him on, you know, whatever. It's just, I feel like it's hard for people to take things seriously because of the mindset of women and men and who's worse than the other and all this other stuff. But I mean, I feel like you go as old to 40 and as young as to 21, it's like they all kind of view dating and money and men and women the same way. So it's like,
Miss Walker, how does it benefit you having all of your friends city girls?
so all my friends are not city girls. It was an example. But in terms of, I do have some. I'm not, you know what I mean? I feel like everybody in their life got somebody that just has not gotten their life together yet. You know, it don't make them a terrible person. And it doesn't really it don't affect me. At the end of the day, I go to work or he goes to work and we come home and we're dealing with my family. You know, just because I might see on your story or you might call me one day and you're just like, man, girl, I really thought this was the one. But tomorrow you talking to another man, that really don't have nothing to do with me because I don't feed into it. But I can give you advice. I can let you know what I did when I had my whole mentality where I just felt like, let me just go around and this is what's making me happy, and I didn't know happiness. But in reality,
hold on, wait. You had a whole mentality?
Oh, what? Definitely. And I might be 24, but I'm not.
Let me ask this question. Let me just ask this last question because I really want to know this, right? Because it ties into that video, right? So your fiance.
Make my points about the video, but go ahead.
Your fiance, you guys get married, right? You're now married. Mm-hmm. He remains at the same level. Y'all remain at the same level y'all at right now for the rest of your life. You're happy with that?
I'm very happy. But we wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't. I know that for us. I know that for him. I know that for me, because we are not comfortable with settling. We have moments, depression kicks in, whatever. That's inevitable. That's real life stuff. Like how you said, happiness is not stagnant. It is impossible for you to be happy 100% of the time. However, you know you as a person. I know me as a person. He knows him as a person. That's the reason we're together, because we know each other as people. Like I said, we were friends first. We were friends for years before we even established a relationship.
Walker,
you know what I mean? Like,
Walker, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you can be honest, it'd be dope.
Okay.
Combined, how much do y'all make?
Almost 6 figures.
Okay.
Combined.
Okay.
All right. Who hasn't spoken on this? Sweeney, you actually had time to address the actual question.
All right. I want to ask everybody a quick question. Can we define what broke is? I don't want to say broke mentality, none of that. The income. What is broke?
I think it's different for everyone wherever they are, but if you can't afford to pay your bills every month, you're broke.
What's the income?
Use your credit cards to pay. It's not your income.
It depends where you live. Where you're in Arizona.
You
Your
can't,
money is coming out. It's not your income.
You can't say it universally, because 50K is broke in New York, but 50K wouldn't be broke.
Let's do average, and we can disaggregate for the different cities. But I think what I'm saying is, what is broke?
Mentality.
I don't think it's mentality. I think you not being able to pay your bills is broke.
Yeah, if you had to give it a number, if we had to put a number on it, I would say
that's an impossible question.
It's not.
I think her answer is the best.
Like
it is.
35.
I would.
Well, I would say just say 25,000.
I would say
25,000 a year.
It sounds like you're trying to ask what the difference between poor and broke is, right?
No, I'm asking because we keep saying broke. Everybody wants to use the word broke. So what is broke by income? Something you can quantify, not a feeling.
And then we disqualifying people.
If
when
you
they
hear
broke.
somebody and they tell you their income, and let's use the average right now. We're talking Dallas, Atlanta. Well, Atlanta's a little high, but let's use the average for the nation, and we can disaggregate for the entire country. Depending on what area you live in.
But It
Let's-
So
depends.
35K is broke.
Wait.
35K is broke.
So
Okay,
if you
Yeah,
live,
where I'm from, it's 3,000 for like one bedroom.
if you
Okay,
live,
all right. Let me
next
ask this question. Let me
next
ask
to
this question.
Alexandria, Virginia. Like,
Hold on, wait. Let me ask this question. What city do you live in, and what is broke by income?
no, hold on. Let me just say this real quick. That question to me is too damn vague. There's people that live in tiny homes spending little to nothing in a tiny house these days. You
Yeah.
understand there's more to life now. You don't have to get a big ass house. and
Hold
all
on,
that.
Lady Di. Hold on, Lady Di. You taking it too far. Hold on.
What's your
What city do
budget?
you live in, and what is broke? And I'll start with Real Precious, since she.
I would say, I mean, if we had to give it a number, I would say like 30, 35.
And what city you live in?
I'm not telling you what city I live in, but I do live in New Jersey.
Okay, Bruiser.
Honestly, man, I think you conflating the words. I think you're talking about poor. When you
No,
ask about salary levels, I think you're talking about poor.
Yeah,
No.
the reason-
I'm not. I'm going off of what's been getting
I
said,
agree.
not
because
only on the
broke
panel,
is
but
you
in the
not
comments
The
section.
reason
So what
why
is
that-
broke?
the reason why that
because
question, the
you
reason
can
why
make a
that
lot of money.
the reason why that question can't be answered that simply is because being broke is not measured on how much money you make. It's measured on how much disposable income you have.
Fair. So what is that? What is
It's
the
also-
income level?
it's also
what is the
measured-
income level that gives people disposable income? What is that income level? We all got a number in our head. I don't know why we so afraid
It's
to
not
say.
about a number.
Well,
I
it's
think it's
not
just
measured-
not about
it's
a
not
number.
measured
I
on
think
From everyone
it's about
else's.
the freedom.
You
It
trying to
doesn't-
quantify it, and I think it's being broke is not having the financial literacy, not being able to break away from
Okay, that's
getting
mindset.
above. Like,
That's mindset. But let's keep it real. We're
because
going off of,
because hold on, the reason why I said that, because you can make $250K and be broke.
And be
A person-
broke.
Correct.
Spending too much damn
Correct.
money. Like
That's why
it
you
don't
can't really
matter.
say, oh, well, it's just salary. You can have $250K, but if your mindset is
what is
you
the
got a broke
likelihood of
bitch
somebody
out-
making $250,000 a year?
A
and being
lot.
broke?
A lot of
Oh,
people
it's a lot of
are
people.
That
just
definitely
doing
happens.
Johnny
it.
Walker,
It
hold on,
happens.
hold on,
Seriously.
hold on.
Would you rather?
Johnny
Okay,
Walker
okay.
live up here in the
Hold on, wait. Let me
When
ask
you
this
Ask
have
question.
Fantasia.
bigger
Ask
Hold on, real quick.
Fantasia.
Hold on, real quick, y'all.
Ask Fantasia.
Which one would you rather have? Because Fantasia lives beyond her means. If that's the
what
case,
we're saying.
I don't know Fantasia's life.
But that's
But
what
if
we're
you-
saying.
but
That's the
here's the
case
thing.
for a
Would you
lot
rather
of
make?
people.
The
Would you rather make
overhead.
A lot
$30,000?
of people don't make
And-
that money.
Would you rather make 30,000? Y'all getting me off my point, but I'm gonna ask it. Would you rather make $30,000 and not feel broke, or make $240,000 and feel broke?
It's not a feel broke. It's you actually are broke.
You're
Exactly.
not broke
You
if you
can-
make $250,000
You
a year.
are.
If you make
can
200
be.
yes.
They
Hold on, let me
break these
explain.
things down financially.
You can make $250,000 and literally all of the money you making is going to debt, is going to bills, and you don't have nothing left. And maybe you might be in the negative every month. But if you poor, let's say you live in Woodbridge and you only make $50K, but you paid all your bills and you got a little money left over so you can have fun, every other weekend during the month.
your
That's
measurement,
being poor.
so your measurement
You
of
don't
being
have-
broke is not being able to have fun after you pay all your bills.
No, not being able to have
additional
nothing. Like you're not,
funds.
you're literally unstable. Like anything
How
can
is that
happen to you
unstable if you make $250,000 and you
because
paying
of the way
for the
you're,
things
the
that
way
cost
you're
$20?
Having enough money to pay your bills and not having any money after that to do anything is definitely broke.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Sweeney.
'Cause you
What
can't
if an
calculate
emergency
anything
happened?
else
What if
that
an
can happen.
emergency happened? You don't got no money for
You
an
don't have
emergency.
anything else.
You got kids to take care of. You got something happen to your house, a tornado come through there. Like, bro, like,
Your air
telling you, bro.
conditioning
All
goes
right.
out. You
Pregnant,
have
you
to
got
buy
an
new
emergency, now you
HVAC.
got a hospital
So-
bill because you didn't went to a hospital that don't take it. Like, it's plenty of things. You have to be able to account for all those things.
But
Wait,
we're trying to
Sweeney,
explain
what's
to you
your
that we
point,
don't
though?
put a
All right.
number to
Yeah,
broke.
where
It's
were
not
we
a
going
number
with
that
the
we put
broke
to it.
conversation?
The reason why I keep asking, the reason why I want to know what y'all, because I know y'all are saying this, but everybody has a number in mind of what is broke. If the guy came up to you, if somebody came up to you, male or female on this panel, and told you I make this, you automatically have a either they're good
Yeah,
or
but
they're
that-
broke
but
in
the-
your mind. That's what
The
I'm
problem
asking.
with the problem with your question is that's like asking somebody what's tall. What's tall for Ali might be different to me. If I'm 6'4" and he's 5'8", you get what I'm saying?
Okay,
It
which is
depends
fair.
on the
So
threshold.
I'm asking everybody what that is. I'm not asking y'all a hard question. It's what is that in your
You
mind?
also got to
But
factor
don't-
in their expenses. You got to fact like
But that's what Sweeney
Angry
said.
Man
Nobody's
said.
answering the question, Sweeney.
Well, why is
Yeah,
there an
what?
assumption that people?
Somebody did
I already
answer the
answered
question
it,
though.
but
Precious
Yes, he
There are
answered
answered.
people on here that are shaking their head when you're saying everyone has a number. I
Okay, you
genuinely
know
don't.
what? I'm gonna give. Let me just give him my number so he
Hey,
can
thank
move forward. Okay, if I only made 100,000 a year, I would feel broke.
Okay.
Well, that's not going to answer your question really, because he said 100,000. There's people that's
No,
looking
no,
for
no.
people to make
That's fair.
100,000.
I'll let him have that. He said,
No, but that's what he's looking for. He wants this definite number. So now I've given you the definite number. So
What's the
okay.
point?
If
All
I
right.
made
let's get
50,000,
it.
I would
Okay,
be.
I'll
think
give
I
you
was
one.
broke.
I'll give you one then. If I didn't make anything, I feel broke because I got a mentality. If I make just a little bit, I know how to flip that shit and turn it into something.
That
All I
part.
need is a little wiggle room. You get what I'm saying? So
What
I
are
don't
you
even need
talking
100K to
about?
ride.
Yeah.
It's certain people that need a lot of money to rise from, to rise up out of their situation. I've been there so many times, and I've been able to rise, pick myself up out of that situation so many times. So if I just get a little, a basic job, a minimum wage, bro, I can within
All right.
anywhere from 3 to 6 months, I can climb out of that shit, bro.
All right.
Skills, bro.
So on the table, we got 30. I heard 100. I've heard 50. I've heard 0. Anybody else?
You better have a
All
hell
right.
of a punchline after this one.
Okay.
Mhm.
So here's the reality, because I've heard a lot of ladies say 1-bedroom apartment, Toyota Corolla. The average cost of a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,200, $1,200 to $1,500. The average cost of a Toyota Corolla is $15,000 to $23,000. Whether you're buying new, if you're buying new, it's like 23, 25. If you're buying used, you're looking at like 15. In America, the top 10 most popular cars in America, the first one, number one overall, is a Honda Accord. Then it goes Ford F1 Series, Honda Civic, Toyota Camry, Nissan Altima, Toyota Corolla, Chevy Silverado, Malibu, Ford Fusion, Honda Sonata. Here's the reality. Majority of people starting out will probably start off at like 30K at the age of 18, 19. They're starting out at 30K. By the time they turn 65, they cap out at 67. That's majority of people. At 35, you're going to be making roughly about $48,000 a year. So in this world, we have people telling everybody that making less than 45,000 at 35 is broke. It's crazy.
It's not crazy.
It is crazy because majority of people are average.
Okay,
the average person will never touch $100,000 a year.
And guess what? The average American, just like you're talking about, cannot afford an emergency of $400. That's broke.
True.
And the average American can be with the average American. Like,
And you want to know why the average American? You want to know why the average American can't afford it? Because most of them are one by themselves. If you put the average man with the average woman, they can survive with a 401k, with a savings.
Here's where the problem comes in with this, right? So we don't have a static economy. We have an economy that's constantly improving and constantly moving, right? So originally our school system, and it still does, it teaches you how to be a worker. It teaches you basically how to be a factory worker. That's the reason why you have the bell. That's the reason why you have so many similarities to a factory at a public school, right? So during the time of the Industrial Revolution, getting a regular job, you could afford to live a comfortable lifestyle with that regular job at a factory. The only problem is we don't live in the Industrial Revolution anymore. Things have changed to where now you have to level up as far as getting a trade or being a business owner or something like that. Now, if you look at the average American, the reason why the average American makes the average money they make is because the average American is fucking lazy. And the reason why the average American is fucking lazy is because they are trained to go to a place and press a button and get a paycheck. They're trained to go and do.
The average American works 40 hours a week.
They are trained. Yeah, exactly. And
what planet is that?
They work 40 hours a week for menial wages. Okay, menial wages. If a person simply got a trade whether they became a freaking mechanic, a plumber, an electrician, they would make well above the average.
You know the average for a plumber?
What's the average for a plumber?
It's in line with the damn near with the average income
Actually,
for America.
Actually, it's not.
It's not.
What's the average?
Actually, it's not.
What's the average?
The average for a plumber is somewhere around 60.
And that's an experienced plumber.
So we're talking about rookie. We talking about average. So it's gonna be experience.
If you're coming in as a rookie, as a plumber, I just did the numbers on this. You're making roughly about 40.
Actually, no. And there's a reason why. The reason why is because in this day and age, for every 5 skilled tradesmen that retire, they're replaced by 2. So right now there's a high demand for skilled tradesmen. So they're actually paying more than what that average is that you're talking about, because they can't get people to do those jobs. So right now, a person going into being an electrician or being a plumber, and I know because my brother-in-law just his family was struggling. He became an electrician, and immediately he started making way more money. I think he makes 6 figures now. So yeah.
So this is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2023. The average plumber earns $52,000.
What's the entry level for that?
I don't see why
in certain trades you can have certain
because most people start off entry level.
But that don't matter.
But you're not starting off entry level.
So
you wouldn't start off at 35 at entry level,
Entries
right? You would start off when you're 18
final thoughts on this,
to
y'all. Final thoughts so we can move on.
Entries between 40 and 50.
All right, so I'm on ZipRecruiter right now. While ZipRecruiter is saying annual salaries as high as $77,000 and as low as $22,000, the majority of entry level plumbers' salaries currently range between $31,000 to $55,000. 25th percentile as far as $31,000, $55,000 at the 75th percentile. With top earners, 90th percentile making roughly about $66,000.
So like I said,
point being, even a plumber wouldn't be able to live up to the lifestyle that you're claiming that they have to live. A plumber.
But you just gave validity to what I said. I said 60, right?
That's an experienced plumber. My point is that we have everybody, certain people, everybody has their lot in life. Everybody. Some people will never do something. Some people will never get this. Some people will never be able to send their kids to college. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't be happy, because as long as you got your family, you pay your bills, because most of us do that, and you find somebody to make it through life with, you should be happy. We keep saying broke, but when we define broke, we're mostly talking about average people. That's why every time when people ask, is $45,000 enough for you? No, that's broke. It's not broke.
So then why do we have an issue in this country with everybody fighting to raise the minimum wage? Why do we have an issue?
The minimum wage pays $14,000 to $21,000.
Why do we have an issue? We have an issue with people fighting to raise the minimum wage. We have an issue with people complaining about not getting a living wage, and the reason why is because that 30 to 40,000 that you could live comfortably on in the 80s and the 90s, you can't live comfortably on that.
30 to 40,000. What is the minimum wage in this country? $725.
We got to bring this home, y'all.
That's $14,000 to $21,000 a year. That's not average.
Yeah.
Even a kid coming in at entry level at 18 makes more than that. They at least make that thing.
But let me say one thing before we move on, and this will be the last thing.
Yeah, sure.
Just because
I'll always say,
just because most people were psychologically conditioned to not surpass the financial state they were predisposed to, doesn't mean evaluating it, calling it what it is wrong. I mean, it's broke. Just like if you condition a race to think that slavery is a normal condition, doesn't mean someone who has come out of it can't look back and say those people are in bondage. They're in bondage. Just because most of them are in it doesn't mean that you can't make evaluative determination on what the state is.
But Americans are.
We gotta move on, y'all. We gotta move on. You guys just tuned in. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Let's make sure we hit the like button and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me go ahead and get to these super chats real quick. Trigger Mike. Heard me earlier. He said, I hope my flight lands before the show ends so I can throw some shade at the light skinned fella in the white. And saying you want $2 says the like button is right over there. Everyone support. That's right. Make sure you hit the like button. Rob 199 says, welcome back, JR. Shout out to my lady Kelly Connection. 999 says, good evening, family. Sending blessings your way. I hope you have an amazing show. Shout out to my love, Lapeef JR. Keep up the greatness. Continue supporting network. Hit the like and subscribe. Marcus Evans, $5 says, what up, everyone? You finally got the angry man in the building. Oh, snap. To go, $5. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. What they say, Gandhi? Quote?
Yeah, Gandhi quote.
Hope you guys agree. The 99-cent super sticker, appreciate that. Trigger Mike says money can't buy happiness, but it's a damn good down payment.
Yes, sir.
MC Heavy Tits 499 also member says, would you rather have 10 million and live in Ohio or 1 million and live in a real estate? Trigger Mike $5 also a member says the smart young woman dates the Corolla guy with 2.9% interest. 304 date the Charger guy that went to buy here, pay here lot at 31.9%. Donald 1999 says most of the women today feel that the average man is broke-minded and content in his life. Timeout 199 also member says I thought a Corolla was a reliable car. Just saying. MC Heavy Tits again 999 also member says in our early 20s we will love a dude because we like the same TV show. In our 30s we are looking for something serious. We waste our 20s on dumb ish. Marcus Evans $5 says men have always married broke women. MC Heavy Tits again 499. So women should love men for being submissive and cooperative. To go $5 says, would you rather be the richest person in the world and only person or be around people? Of course, Eugene Steele $5 also member says being broke can cause stress and or depression. It can alter your lifestyle. It can even put you in a state of desperation. Being broke is real. Sound like you got some experience. Team Fatty became a member. Salute to you, sir. Christopher J. I only need money to pay bills and buy essentials. Other than that, I will never love money because it's always going to be there when I need it. Greatness to work $5 says Mark Cuban moved to Dallas with $60 in his pocket. Master P left California with $100 in his pocket. You know the rest. King Rock 499 says there are too many anecdotal and politically correct perspectives when it comes to the dynamics. Black women, men. Well, no, what that mean? What that abbreviation
between mean? Women and men, I think it means.
Between.
It hurts to keep it real. Appreciate that, y'all. I'm slow. Striking and rich. Well, sometimes taking notes. How you say your name?
Marjani.
Marjani. I just go by Johnny. Just Johnny.
Right, the camera froze. I call you Johnny. Angry Man is teaching.
Marjani.
MC Heavy Tits 499 says I won't take anyone seriously if they don't hate the government and doesn't know how to hunt. But I'm an old head. Insane $2 says our family, not my family, and that was like. Trucker Yale $5 says we lost another one. Thunder Rat Walker has been recruited to the front line. Shaking my damn head. Speaker Vibes $5 says if you can't pay your bills with one paycheck, you're broke. Ricky Drummond $5 says salute to the panel. What up, angry man? Carol Boss, heart emoji. Hey, lady. Mr. BX87 $2 says living paycheck to paycheck is broke. Greatness to work. $5 says I know people working at the local gas station making less than that and own multiple houses and land. MC Heavy Text again 199 says I'm good being a poor. Marcus Evans $5 says you just made the angry man point. Want to thank everybody. I got a couple more. Logical Faith $5 says broke isn't just based on income but also expenses. If you make $300K a year but spend $301K, you're still broke. I'm calling cap on angry man. I've talked to plenty of plumbers and never used this word.
Raleigh. That's Raleigh. Raleigh.
And they are barely touching 60K with experience.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all can keep celebrating broke motherfuckers if you want to.
Not broke.
You know,
But if you want to, but at the same time, you can't get up here and complain when the women complain about y'all being broke.
That's not broke. That's the
Okay.
point.
Okay. If you say so.
You realize
disagree, Sweeney.
60K is broke.
60%. Y'all realize 60% of the
gotta move on,
population.
y'all. We gotta move on. We gotta
60%
move on.
of the population in
We gotta
2020.
move on, family.
Check.
We gotta move on. Like all this broke talk, y'all making me sick right now.
Exactly.
This is a good.
Yeah, the video wasn't about being broke. It was about
because it shows how we view each other, JR. Like
that's why I said I have my notes written down and it turned to
Okay,
money.
let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, hold on, wait. And y'all notice when Walker said that her and her fiance make almost 100K together.
All right, we gotta move on. We gotta
because
move
they
on.
came
y'all.
together.
We gotta move on.
and she's happy.
I should have made this
So
the
it's
main topic.
possible.
I didn't know I was supposed to be an icebreaker. Y'all started off stale as hell, man. Y'all just got energetic. You see what money do?
Yeah.
I didn't. My notes are not about money. I was ready. I liked it. I mean, I didn't like it, but I liked it.
Okay. All right, hit the like button, family. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, moving on to our next topic, which is Sierra and Russell believe you can be married and still be independent. I told you it was going to get a little ratchet.
Absolutely.
You know, I know that was a little bit high IQ on the first one, but it's a little ratchet. Let me go ahead and get to this clip.
Wait, what you just say, man?
What you said? You say you don't need no man?
I said, some of my girls get money. Some of my girls don't need no man.
Hey, you don't need me. You don't need.
I want you.
You just be just all right without.
Hey, independent.
But I need you.
I need you too, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying.
Independent woman.
Yeah.
All right, that clip had just dropped right before the stream, and I pulled it up. I should have increased the audio, but I don't know if you guys heard him what he said. But Sierra and Russell believe you can be married and still be independent. You guys understand what I know we want to jump the gun, but he's basically saying that in a marriage, each person, it's okay to be independent. What are you guys' thoughts about it? I'm gonna go ahead and go to Johnny. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is like the same as when Will Smith said he wasn't responsible for Jada's happiness. I think you very much can be independent. I'm in here right now. I have a 5-week-old and a 2-year-old, and my fiance decided that he was going to go ahead and finish dinner, put them to bed so I could have this opportunity because it's something that I've been telling him I wanted to do. I want to get involved in podcasts, and I feel like that's something I want to do. He's not into that type of stuff, but just because we came together doesn't mean you can't be independent to what the things you like to do and who you are. I think that's I think what they said, and I saw in the shade room when Sierra dropped that video, it got a little misconstrued of like, oh, well, how you saying that, but you're married and you're this, that, and the third. I don't think that's what she was trying to say. I think she's really just being blunt. I think she's talking to what our society wants to hear. I think some people don't realize just because I said what you wanted to hear doesn't mean it's true. That's a politic and money aspect thing, I believe. I don't think that she even believes as a God-fearing woman. Don't quote me, see, like, don't put this, and then they go at me because I'm speaking for this woman. But I don't think as a God-fearing woman, she really believes that women should be alone. I don't believe women should be alone. I think that some women are surviving alone right now. But I really think that that was a tactic in terms of what society is saying and like, oh, you don't need no man and this, that, and the third. But being independent and being in a relationship is very possible. You don't change your identity versus changing some of the things you used to do, or some things about me that needed to grow, or some things that needed to be healed versus I still can't be me. Because that's like independent. The way I view it is me still being authentically me. So that's how I took that.
Yeah, but I think you just described interdependence. You just described being on here while you depend on your fiance to put the baby and the 2-year-old to bed while you're able to be on here.
Well, that was a choice because I could still do it. Like today, I went to the gym. I took my children with me. I didn't depend on no one to do that. That was a choice that he made so I could do it and not have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
but the point is you have
That's
him. You have him in order to help you, even if it ain't on Tuesday, it's on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like you have someone to depend on, and you gave up your choice of being independent, really. Because if you didn't have him, then you could say, you know, I'm being independent. But when you have someone to actually help you with those things, even if it's not every single day, it's maybe 4 or 5 days out of the week, they're still there to help you. I don't understand, you know, with Sierra and Russell, I mean, it's almost cringy watching them now, because for her to say to him in his face, like, I don't need you. Like, she had a pair of balls for real.
Well, you
Say
shouldn't.
to him in his face, I don't need you. No, we're designed to need each other. It wasn't good that men be alone. So God created a suitable helpmate for him, meaning that he needed her. God saw fit that he needed her. It was no other way. If he didn't need her, there would be no purpose for us.
But he said he needed her.
Right. That's why it's
He
cringy,
emphasized, I need
because
you.
he's like, I need you, and that's purpose. That's real. That's real. But for her to blatantly, like, for her to say, I don't need you, and then try to double back and be like, well, you know, I need you, but you know what I mean. You know, is to Russell need prayer, y'all.
I don't know.
Like,
I feel differently about it because the military, there's so many deployments, right? So there's dual military soldiers, and when their spouse leaves, they are by themselves. And if their spouse is in a unit that deploys often, they are by themselves often. So those
yeah, but
people
you're
are
being
independent
provided
of each
for.
other, even though they technically are married.
They're
They
the
are
you're getting the
neo-bachelors, or they
benefit
are.
of that. You're reaping the benefits of that man being away. I mean, it's part of the job. It's part of his duty. It's part of what you actually signed up for as well. So if he
Yes,
is
but
away,
I'm not saying you're not reaping any benefits from it. That's not what I'm saying at all.
right, but it's
I'm
still
just
not
saying you
independent.
are
Nobody's
taking.
independent. Nobody's
We can agree
independent
to
without
disagree.
without that man's income. What would you do?
You are still working. So these people are dual military. That means they're both in the military. They're both still working. They both have their jobs to do. One person is deployed and one person is at home. So you are still an independent soldier. You're still required to finish the mission while your partner is gone. You're still
There,
required to
there,
You're
take
there,
care of the
married.
kids
The
while
person
your
there,
that you're
partner
there is
is
married
gone.
to.
there is no such thing as an independent soldier. There is no such thing as an independent person. It doesn't exist. Does not exist. Everybody, human beings are interdependent. We all depend on each other in some way, shape, or form. There's no such thing as an independent person. It's the most ridiculous thing that has ever been said in the history of the world. In independence, the definition of independence is free from outside control or authority. None of us have that. No one has that. Okay. Everybody is interdependent. The idea of, oh, I'm independent is really, it's really just, it's hubris. It's really just trying to pretend that you don't need anyone. And it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It certainly doesn't exist for women. The last people on the planet that can call themselves independent are women. Okay. Especially Sierra. Last time I checked, even if she wasn't with Russell, doesn't she get child support from Future? That's not.
Child support is for the child.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
That has
matter.
nothing to do with her and her dependence.
She's not. Okay, so a soldier, right? You're part of the military, right? Does the military house you? Okay, that's dependent. That's not independent.
On
All
the
right.
military,
Do-
on my
does the
job.
does the military pay you?
Yes, for my
That's
job.
dependent.
Yes, on my job. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm
Being
not saying
in-
you're dependent on a specific person. When we're talking about partners being dependent on each other, that's like when she gave the example. If you weren't getting his check, then what would you be doing? This
She would
isn't
be
dependent
working.
on the partner. This is depending on the military. The
She
military
would
pays your
be.
food, they pay your housing, they pay your everything.
So then you're dependent.
Dependent.
Oh, hold on.
Everyone is dependent on their
Hold on.
job.
We letting
So
it
that doesn't
go.
make any sense.
Hold on, wait.
Independent does not mean
Look.
what you're saying. Independent is literally you don't have no one to do stuff like make money with, do stuff with. You're by yourself, independently doing things by yourself. You mentioned a situation where the guy was deployed and then let's say the lady's, home working. That's called y'all are making money together. You put it in one pot or however you decide to do it. That's not independent.
Hold on, wait.
What is independent to you, Fantasy Girl?
Hold on, wait. Lady Di. We all getting away from what she said. She said that when she's deployed, he's at home. Oh, let me start by asking this question. Fantasy Island, do y'all have children?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We had children, and when I was deployed, he was at home. When he was deployed, I was at home. When he was on trainings, I was at home. But we spent more time independently working through things. We didn't need to take money from each other. We had the same rank. We had the same pay.
The point is that even to raise your children, y'all have to be dependent on one another, because in order to do your job, one person has to be at home. So while you're doing your job and deployed, he's able to be at home and raise your kids, and vice versa. That is literally y'all dependent on one another.
Yes, that is an aspect of you depending on each other for the kids' sake.
The closest thing to a person,
Yes, I agree with that.
closest thing to a person being independent is like Tom Hanks when he was on that damn island and he went crazy. Human beings cannot be separate of everything. No man is an island unto himself. That's what that quote means. Okay. If you put a human being in solitary confinement by themselves, they tend to go crazy, because human beings we don't function that way. We have to have some sort of interaction with each other. And that is a level of dependence. It doesn't matter if you say, well, I'm not in a relationship with a guy, so I pay my own bills or whatever. You're still dependent on the company that you work for. And as Black Beauty said in the chat room, not everybody's dependent on their job. Okay, so you're a business owner. Now you're dependent on your clients. Now you're dependent on your customers. You're dependent on whatever industry you're in. There's still going to be a level of dependence there as a human being. There's no such thing as an independent human being.
I understand what you're saying.
So they say smart women, they say smart women don't need no man. And I see this as women who strive for academic achievement. So women are claiming their independence, claiming that they're independent from men, because men, we created the world so women can work and earn wages necessary to support their life. They got a plethora of men, and they still got a plethora of men who are, still willing to plant their seed, and they got the family courts, that's going to grant them full rights. And when they work to retirement or work to the end of their life cycle, or their ability to work, they got the Social Security to bail them out and carry the torch from there. So what part of all that did not include a man? That's my question. What part of that didn't include the blood, sweat, and tears of a man? Since segregation, or since integration, the Black community has yet to be reestablished. So if any Black woman fix her mouth to claim or promote independence, it's basically embracing genocide on Black people.
Like, I can say as a man that I'm not independent. I am dependent on my subscriber base to support my platform. I am dependent on my wife for companionship and emotional companionship. Now, if we weren't together, I would probably get with another woman and I would be dependent on her. And if I decided to be single, I would be dependent on my homeboys for a connection, for companionship that's not as intimate. I'm dependent on my children to carry on my legacy, to carry on my last name. Like I'm dependent on everything around me. That's what life is. That's what life is.
Yeah.
This idea that we don't need anybody. See, this is where we've went wrong in our culture, where this idea that we don't need anyone. You see this a lot amongst Black people. We act like we don't need our community. We don't need each other. And this is why our community, what's left of it, looks the way it looks. You have Black people that live in Black neighborhoods. There used to be a time where you knew everybody in the neighborhood. Now you live there and you barely speak to your neighbor. You feel me?
And even with the military deployment thing, I just thought about this. Like you were saying, you're going to depend on other people. So when your spouse does deploy, you do have the unit there helping you when your spouse isn't there to help you out. So I guess when I was thinking independent, it's like, okay, there's only one parent here at a time. Who's going to do it? It's going to be you. But that's not saying that you're doing it with no help at all. That's not realistic. So I get what you're saying, Angry Man, completely.
Yeah, it's basically what we think of independence. We think of, I'm able to do this without any help, right? So if I'm in here and I'm doing my show and it's just me doing my show, I could mistake that for being independent, but I don't really think about the other things that I depend on. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Sierra really married to her fans. She ain't married to Russell.
It seems so, because she's marketing the independent woman, but being a hypocrite because she's not. She has a man, she has a husband, she has a family. So why not say like, oh, you could be a great wife and still like have fun? I don't know, but why is she promoting independent woman? You could have an independent goal. You could have an independent schedule. Meaning like, okay, you're gonna do that today. I'm gonna do this today, and we're moving in two different directions today, but we're all we're gonna have a common goal. We're gonna meet back and say, oh, this went down today. I got this done today. Oh, you worked? Okay, how was work? You know, so you're not independent. So she's just marketing a facade. Like you can be a boss babe and still be married and have a family and a husband, but in actuality, she still has to report back to her man.
But she probably isn't though. That's the thing we missing. You see how
she probably is and not telling us because she wants to put the image out that she could do whatever she wants. She could wear whatever she wants. She can go wherever she wants.
I'm convinced. I'm sorry. I'm with you, Lady Di. I'm convinced that the woman can do whatever the hell she wants. She can wear whatever she wants, and that dude gonna be like,
okay,
go ahead.
Hey, Angry Man. Yeah. And I actually want to stack on top of what you said, because that was dope what you mentioned about us all being dependent on everyone else. But I would even argue that the closer somebody is to you, the better your dependence is. I.e., the closer somebody gets to you that you love and respect and care for, and they love and respect and care for you, the easier life gets. Because the reality is nobody owes you anything.
Mm-hmm.
In this world, nobody owes you anything. I think somebody made a perfect example when they talked about the animal kingdom, how it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You would literally watch an adult lion eat a baby cub, and would nobody do anything about it. In this world, we live in this world where we automatically look after one another, but we don't owe each other that. So I would even argue that the closer somebody is to you, i.e., a man, this is why you need a man. It makes your life easier. And it makes a man's life easier when he has a woman with him that's closer to him than the rest of the society, because it makes his life easier.
But that's you mentioned the lion eating a cub or eating a gazelle. You know which ones the lions go after? The ones that stray away from the herd. So if you're in the herd, a predator is less likely to try to attack you because they know that you got the support of the herd. And human beings, we operate like that. We operate in a herd mentality. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's ingrained in us. If we were in a crowd right now and I would just take off running, everybody would start running. They wouldn't know why. You feel what I'm saying? They would just start running because they would think that I saw some danger and they're gonna take off running, you know?
You know what's crazy? I kind of want to mention is, I don't know if this is kind of go along with what you said, but have you ever heard of the bystander effect?
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's crazy because that automatically it kind of ties into the fact that we are so dependent on one another that the bystander effect is a negative thing. Like every last one of us assume somebody else gonna handle it.
Yeah,
I know that person's gonna step in and get it, so I'm gonna sit back and rest because I don't have to go out there and rescue that person, and then that person wind up dying because everybody thinks everybody else is gonna do it. It's a trip.
Yeah, because you be standing there. Somebody will literally be standing there watching it happen. They'll be like, "Is anybody gonna stop this?" Like they'll literally say it out loud.
That's how dependent we are on one another.
Listen, Sweeney, I get what you're saying about the lion thing. I think the comparison is a little bit disingenuous because as a human being, you get to choose who you bring in the world or not. So as far as saying that I don't owe anything to putting it on as a parallel to an animal, I think it's a difference. I think there needs to be a little bit more context on that because from my understanding, if I create a child, I owe my kid something. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, wait. The context is if we lived in a society where we were truly felt independent and all we cared about truly was ourselves, then we would be the animal kingdom. My point was being that nobody owes you anything. However, we still, just by our mindset and our herd mentality alone, we automatically draw in and rope people in to help them. Because if we truly live this mindset where I don't care what nobody else think is my truth, I only care about me, we would literally be the animal kingdom that watch another person murder and eat a baby. My bad for the algorithm. That would watch somebody delete and eat a baby right in front of us, and we'd just keep walking.
Yeah, but we are doing that in a sense. It might not be directly how you painted it, but in essence, that's actually what's going on in our world.
That's not
We're
true.
literally sitting.
Somebody cares.
You might not be specifically, but we as a nation, as human beings, are sitting here watching people, a certain level of people, whether it's social economic status or whether it's a race, obliterate a lower social economic status of people or a lesser race in front of our own eyes and not doing anything about it.
But while that is true, you're still doing it for somebody else. One nation can go in and obliterate another nation. True. But that nation is doing it for a reason. Because they have a group of people that they give a damn about that they're doing it for. So yes, I can war with you, and man, you can war with one another. But the reason why I do it is because I have a nation of people behind me that depends on me to beat you, and you have a nation of people behind you that depend on you to beat me.
And that's the reason why I said that Black people don't have a community, because we don't have nothing behind us. So a race of women, a race of Black women specifically, can sit here and, like we had a conversation last Thursday, willingly have the knowledge that the children will suffer without a father in the household and will deliberately continue to elect. I think those were your term that you really killed the panel with that. Elect to be single mothers, knowing the destruction that it will cause to the future of the children. So knowing that and still continue to do it. A
lot of the reason why they do that is because there's other systems that they can depend on.
Yeah,
that they feel supersedes the father. Because let's keep it.
I'm glad you said feel, because it ain't.
Because let's keep it a bean. If that didn't exist, if there wasn't something else that they can lean on, they would be like, I need the man in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's facts.
So is it safe to say that whoever created the system created the monster?
Yeah.
I would say that there's a level of exploitation.
Or is it women exploiting it?
It's women exploiting the system, because it was never meant to replace. Well,
so are you?
You get what I'm saying?
Women that made it.
I kind of want to get some of these other people in there that haven't spoke.
Are you going on record saying that Black women are willingly exploiting their own race?
Ooh wee.
All the time.
Ooh wee. You trying to get Sweeney to answer that question? You want me to answer it for you, Sweeney? Because they won't have a problem if I say it.
No, I got it. God damn. No, can you repeat that one more time, and then I'm gonna let JR get in.
I'm gonna let Angry Man repeat it. You know what I said.
All right, what did you say? What did you say, Angry Man?
Are you saying that Black women are willingly exploiting the system? I think that was the question.
No. Are they willingly exploiting their own race?
Yes.
Their own race.
Define that. What do you mean by that?
Be mad at me. I can answer it.
Well, you just said that they're exploiting the system that man created. Men didn't create that system for them to exploit it and use it. They're actually using it, knowing with the knowledge that is destroying our future as a race. By electing to be single mothers and take up the independent approach and say, I don't need a man, I'm going to go for my own happiness and screw the flourishing of the kids or the future of the kids.
Then the answer to that is yes.
Now
All right, let me get some people in. Who hasn't spoken on it yet? Who's been sitting patiently? Go ahead, Ali.
I mean,
hold on before you do. You was getting kind of passionate, Sweeney. It's like you about to tear up a couple times.
Nah, man, I got a cold right now.
Okay,
been fighting this shit all day, man.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, damn, like somebody get the brother's tissue. I'm like, but
I must have sneezed like 120 times cutting hair today.
Okay. All right, I'm just checking, trying to make sure, man. I didn't know if this was a sensitive topic for you.
No, it's just I like the topic, man. It's
okay.
I can talk about things that's in my wheelhouse.
Okay, man. If you need the cam off, just do it your way. Go ahead, Ali. My apologies, man. Go ahead.
I think it's a big old fat elephant in the room, like a real big fat elephant in the room that we not addressing, regardless to that term being created by the exploitation of our women aligning with white women with feminism. So just acknowledging that that independent woman has destroyed our society. Basically, we're our families for the most part. So seeing what independence does, independence makes you alone, it makes you vulnerable, and vulnerability makes you weak, right? So she puts herself, not the women on these panel, I'm gonna say not the women on the panel, but for the most part, the women who are operating under this notion, right? She puts herself first. She doesn't mind struggling. She keeps making bad decisions. She's deviating from a family and a man for her employer, for a professor, for a boss and a judge, just to pretend she can make it by herself. And then she says nobody is helping her right after that. She says she's traumatized. Then she'll yell out, protect Black women. And when she meets that man, some of the men on this panel and some great men in her life that can do all those things for her, she puts so much energy into being independent instead of valuing and working for that man and her family as a great woman. And then when we get to that part, which we all know from our experiences, she tells him she's healing and on her journey for self-love and happiness. Then when he asks her what's the problem, a good man that cares, wants to save her from herself and still be there for her unconditionally, she'll make that man the problem instead of admitting she needs a man. And then she tells him she don't need him just to still pretend she doesn't need anyone, just to come to the conclusion that independence has destroyed the Black family as a whole.
Yeah.
And the tripped out part is that at every age, income level, 2 incomes is enough to live. But we choose to be apart. No matter what level you at, if you come in the gates, 2 18-year-olds can afford to live in this country at a specific level as long as they live within their means and they can progress with one another to be able to afford to find not the finer things, but to be able to live a decent life. But what happens in our community and what you're starting to see in a lot of other communities, because people being Americanized, is everybody thinks they can do it alone. Everybody thinks they can do it alone.
I ain't met a man that don't love women. I don't want to keep saying we. We keep saying we. It ain't we. A man gonna treat a woman accordingly. If she leading with that throne, he gonna make her a wife. If she leading with them legs, he gonna knife. Like, we gotta stop saying we, man. No, it ain't we. Men are obsessed with women, and men gonna keep getting women. Men gonna keep getting sex. Men gonna keep making babies. Men love women. It's women not cooperating with the man they having kids with and not marrying. Let's stop saying we. We love women. Sweeney, you love women. Bruiser love women. Angry Man love women. I love women. And no matter what, we gonna come to women. We gonna get the women. It's the women who go, you gonna be on my page. I'm gonna be a Sierra. I'm gonna be a what's the old girl name? Dwayne Wade wife.
Oh.
Dwayne Wade wife. Gabrielle Union and Jada Pickett. Instead, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make sure this man that I love, with my intuition, that divine intuition a woman get, whatever I gotta do to be on this man's page because he's special. Because if he ain't special, why you dealing with him? And then you said ain't no good men out there, but you chose to deal with that guy. Pick a special guy and enjoy the ride of having a good man.
But that's the problem. I was gonna say, like, at first I was like, okay, Sierra, she tripping saying that she's independent in a marriage, because no one is independent when you're married, not even the man. So my thing is, it's Russell, because if you're gonna get a wife, why are you even letting her think she independent? That's his fault. Anybody that has a woman, a lady that's thinking that they're independent in a marriage, that's the man's fault, because the man is supposed to be leading. So he ain't leading. He's not even being, that good man that we're speaking of. Good men don't let their ladies operate in that manner. Now, if he wants her to wear, all these certain outfits, that's one thing. But having her walk around saying that she don't need him is mad disrespectful, and that's his fault. He know damn well if he had put his foot down and said, "Hey, look, that's not how we're gonna operate." Why? And he just break down why, what a marriage stands for. Then she wouldn't be walking around saying that, or he probably would have never married her. So let's talk about the men that's not being leaders in their household, and let's not talk
Johnny,
about
what?
ladies. These ladies that sit
See
here
your
walking around saying
computer screen shaking.
independent.
You typing?
That's a man. That's a problem for men.
And let's keep it a bean. Even with Sierra's money, she needs Russell. Russell money gives her a lot of freedom. A lot of freedom. A lot of freedom to drop them trash ass albums. A lot of freedom for her to be able to do a lot of the things that she do. If she didn't have his money, she would still be out there working really hard to stay where she's at.
She still make albums?
She trying. She trying.
A mixtape on that Piff or something.
She just made the song about the independent woman. That's what she was referring to about the song that she just made. Like, I don't need you, I want you. Something like that is in the
Don't worry,
song.
it's gonna change when her tire pressure get low. When her tire pressure get low, he gonna start making some demand.
I want to say something. So I have like a few little points. I agree with everything that has been said. I agree about interdependence, independence. I agree with all those things. I will say that I think, so I'm just going to give context. My degree is in music business. So specifically this topic is a little different in my mind to me but I understand how we're talking about it. For instance, the person that wrote that song is somebody that I know. He's actually from the DMV. His name is Derek Milano. He wrote that song for her, pitched it to her, and they gave her that song. So something interesting to me is how a business shows up to the world as this thing that Sierra said when she did not write the song. However, I do feel also you are in this position. Why were you chosen? You know that you're married. Why'd you accept the song? Whatever you want to say. However, I'm always iffy about like how we perceive things, but what we know about things. Like in that context of that video, I feel like you could very well understand that she was not saying she did not need Russell, but that's what she said. And I think we need to relearn meanings of word, because when she said independent, I don't think that's the way she was saying it. I don't think she was saying independent as I don't need a man, period. I think that's what was written and that's what she said, because it's targeted for business tactics in terms of what is being pushed in the industry. But I'm not
concerned. You think anybody who made that song even
is a man. It's a man that made that song. I personally know the songwriter, so I'm just saying, and I'm not saying, however you guys to then try to talk that, because this person wrote a few other songs like Meg Thee Stallion, all that stuff, Grammy this year, everything. This is a Grammy nominated writer. This is somebody, I went to Full Sail. So that's all we, look into is what is trending right now. How are you making the dollar bill? How are you being effective to your label? How are you keeping it pushing? Okay, you've been signed for your contract, all these other things. Like, all I'm saying is I don't think that everything is exactly what it seems. And I think sometimes we can decipher that. But it is important to have these conversations, because then you do relearn things like, okay, we're saying the word independent and it's not independent, because independent means no help at all and no, this, that, and the third. So I just put that out there because that is my degree is music business. And I don't think that everything that has been said and circulated around it is exactly those things. I do think a lot of those things were business and marketing tactics, and that was it. I'm not saying it's right though. I'm not saying it's right.
No,
she did say in the video that she don't need him.
I don't need
did
you.
say in the video that she don't need
want you. I think the song says, I don't need you, I want you. And why is she marketing this independent woman and she's married?
Yeah, I agree. Why would this song even be, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you pitch the song to someone that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Because I tell you why.
somebody.
The
I'll
songs
tell
get
you.
pitched around the industry is what I've been hearing, and they hear
Yeah.
the sample songs and they choose the songs that they actually want to take on. So the question isn't why did they pitch it to her, because the song probably got pitched to multiple women. The question
why
is
did she
why
Absolutely.
did
choose
It
she
did.
say,
It did. So it is
so why did
concerning.
she
It's
choose
like,
that song knowing that her brand, I just feel like her brand doesn't marry up with where she is now in life. And instead of her changing her brand like she could have done, she decided to stay on this single lady's path, even though she's obviously married, and it's not marrying it up, it's making her look like a hypocrite.
Y'all
well, it's
acting
also
like
a lot of
y'all acting
things
like
that an artist does not have control of, and they put themselves in that position. Don't get me wrong, but you have to understand, it's like Chris Brown dropping an album with 36 songs to finish his contract, so he don't have to be under control people no more. Like, it's a lot of things that it's like we can question on the outside something that you're doing when we don't know that on the back burner your entire label is saying like, hey, ever since you're, and I'm not saying it's right, but it's very well, ever since you've been married, you've been slacking, you're not sexy no more, you're not da. Let's hype it up, let's put you on this way, this is what we need you to do, we need your numbers going up. Like, all I'm saying is, like, when you're talking from a music business aspect of a song, you have to calculate everything that's going into it and the decisions that artists don't make, because it's rarely an artist's decision. Now, you decided to sign a contract and you put yourself in that position wholeheartedly, yes. But she was a singer before she was with Russell, and Russell also knows that there's sacrifices she has to make, there's deals she has to go to, there's meetings she has to go to, there's interviews she has to do, there's things that they want her to do to fulfill that until she decides, hey, no matter what. Lady Gaga is an artist that did that. Lady Gaga is an artist that said, I no longer am about to wear meat on my body. I'm not about to be sitting here doing these type of videos. I just don't want to do it, and got the fuck out of that shit. And that was an agreement between her and her manager, who is a great manager. But it's like, it's very rare that people can even escape that type of situation. We're not in there to know. But I'm just saying, like, in those certain circumstances, not everything is just, well, Sierra, if you have a man and you're married, why did you choose to do that song?
okay,
Because a lot of these people are slaves to where it's like, I have to fulfill you more than whatever.
Okay, here's the issue. We acting like we don't know what this is. He pitched the song to her because he knew the industry was going to like that song. He knew he was going to get paid for that song. Now, the question is, why does the industry like that song? The industry likes that song because it contributes to destroying your culture. It contributes to destroying Black culture, Black communities, and Black families. That's the reason. That's the reason. And the fact that you have artists who continue to do this crap, knowing the effect it has, is ridiculous.
Yeah. And honestly, Sierra, she just wants to stay relevant. So she picked the most trending thing popping because she didn't have to say yes, even though these people are celebrities, but they all regular people just like we are. Ain't nothing different except they dollar amount. But she's deciding to do things that she doesn't have to do. If she married Russell and Russell has all of this wealth that, you know, we're seeing, cool, then rock with that. You don't have to sign something to stay relevant and wear a ridiculous ass outfit for everybody to see. And you
don't know that though in terms of contracts, though, is the only thing I'm saying. Like,
see, therein lies the problem, right?
Yeah.
The moment that she married Russell, like if she was a traditional woman, she'd be like, yo, I ain't gotta work no more. I'm good. But she's trying to maintain this image of, oh, I'm a strong, independent Black woman. It doesn't matter if I got a man, I'm still gonna do my thing, and I'm still gonna get out here and go on stage and shake my old biscuits, even though nobody want to see that.
Right. That's it.
But the real thing is how much of that do we really know for sure? You have artists that come out here and they scream and cry for help for people to go back and be like, well, she didn't have to do that. You don't always know that. That's what I'm saying. Contracts can be a tricky thing. The music industry in terms can be a tricky thing. I'm not saying none of it is right. I agree.
No, we're not saying that it's not a tricky
This
thing,
whole
though.
conversation taught me that I thought of independent as I could go and do my own thing. But in reality, it's like you taught me, okay, I'm thinking of the word independent in the wrong way. However, in this case, I'm saying it's not always like you don't know that.
But
like
she's
until
not,
you're all the way in deep and understand that that's not always the case. It's not always, well, she didn't have to say no because Russell is a multi-millionaire.
He could have bought that contract out. Let's stop acting like she make a whole bunch of goddamn money. Like, he could have bought that shit and be like, yeah, you ain't got to do that. But no, he didn't want to do that because she wants to stay relevant.
I don't know about that
though, because we are acting like because we saw someone's network that we think that they could do that for somebody, and we don't know that.
She's doing it. She's doing it.
Can't break.
She's doing it. She's doing it. She's doing it because she wants to do it, because she wants to remain part of the club. Okay, the club is everything that you see women doing nowadays. Fantasia came out and said that she was submissive to her husband, and they eviscerated her for saying that. So she's trying to remain part of the club, and the club is, I'm a strong, independent woman. Yeah, I got a man. He got money. I'm benefiting from that, but I don't need his ass. I'll leave him tomorrow. That's the club. That's the club. And she's trying to remain part of that club.
And it's a lot of women trying to remain part of that club. I really believe that. I agree with Angry Man. It's not that she's forced to do it, because you have to make a sacrifice when you get married sometimes, depending on the industry that you're already in. There isn't any music industry pushing healthy marriages from women. That's not getting pushed like that. What's getting
I don't think nobody will cry.
Drugs in the industry, and the same thing that's been pushed, being single. So
I don't think nobody shed a tear if Sierra.
Yeah, if you're choosing to stay in this industry and try to keep up with the young ones and doing all the things that the young girls are doing, you could sacrifice your relationship, in my opinion.
I was gonna say that Sierra actually just signed that deal last year. She didn't have to do it. No reason why, in connection to Russell Wilson, did she have to sign a deal. She did it by choice because she wants to stay relevant. She wants to stay making music. And the reality is that she probably needs a label to push her music because she can't sell it on her own. She can barely sell it with the label.
But the deal at the time of signing, did she have any foreknowledge of having to sing a song or having it written in her contract that she has to perform a song title, whatever the name of it is?
Typically, when you sign deals, there's expectation, album expectation. I don't know the details of her deal, but
I do though.
If I was a betting man, and you told me that, hey, this is the wave that you need to ride, because if you come out here with that other shit, it ain't gonna sell, and you're not gonna be able to fulfill your contract obligations, then more than likely she probably would do it.
But we're talking as if you can't negotiate contracts. We're talking as if you can't set the tone for what you look. You go back and you look at the show back in the day, Good Times, right? Originally, that show was supposed to be a single mother living in Cabrini Green. But Esther Roll said, no, I'm not going to do this show if I got to be a single mother, because I had a father in my life. And that's the reason why you have James on that show. So people can establish off the rip, I'm not going to do this type of music. I'm not going to do this. If not, I'm not signing the contract. She didn't do that because she didn't have a problem with this mentality. She doesn't have a problem with this mentality. That's what people have to realize. She's burning the candle at both ends, and a lot of artists are doing that. Cardi B does that. Who else? Mary J. Blige did that for a while. Like, there's these female artists that promote shit. Beyonce does that. There's these female artists that promote this single woman mentality. Meanwhile, they're pursuing the things that women should be pursuing and finding happiness in that, while they're peddling misery to their fans. It's ridiculous.
But you have to look at why is it more prevalent in the music industry than it is you talking about a show, right? That's leeway and people that can go and say, this is not something I want to do. Jordan Peele talks about things that he wanted to do with his movies. Like, but why don't you ever see that in the music industry? There's a reason why. It's the reason why even the devil was sitting over the choir. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying, but you can't, we can't sit and not act like there is a agenda being pushed in this society, and that people are like, I'm just going to out front tell you, Sierra, hey, we're going to sign you, but you're going to have to do everything you don't want to do. No,
guess
it's gonna
what?
sound. It's
And
gonna
guess what?
sound like numbers.
It's not her
It's gonna
first
sound.
contract though,
It's gonna
Walker.
sound.
She's
What?
been doing this
But guess what?
forever. It's been
Guess
over
what?
a decade. She
But
has skin in the game. She's been here
guess
for a
Yes,
what?
while.
every
She
other
But get,
week
guess
there's an
what?
artist on the
Here's
shade
the
room
thing.
talking about some way that they've been fucked over once again. We
But
get
guess
fucked out
what?
today.
But guess what? Guess what? The same way black people can complain about women not being able to wear their hair a certain way at work and get a bill passed, the same way black people can constantly march and complain about black men that get shot down by the police, the same way black people can raise hell about every other thing that bothers them, they can raise hell about the music industry, but they don't.
Hold on, Angry Man. We ain't even
People
got
have
to. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta get some more people.
Oh.
I know y'all been.
All right, let me get this one out real quick, Jay.
No. Every time y'all say that, man, let's get some more people in here real quick, and let's bring this one to a close. We'll get to the next topic. Let's get
Let me get one in. No, I'm just kind of.
Hold on. Let me check on Precious.
I ain't say nothing in a minute.
Carrie, you there? Ali, Fantasy Girl, and
Yeah,
I would love it.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
No, go ahead.
You just. I mean, I believe I spoke a little bit earlier about it, but being married and being independent is like oil and water. You know, you just can't mix the two. When you get married, you're depending on that person, both man depending on his woman and the woman depending on the man. Sierra and Russell, I hear everything that Walker is saying, because that's why I always say I never really believe anything that comes through the media, because it's an agenda that they're pushing. We can definitely have our feelings about how it looks as far as a married couple and what we see in social media, and like she was saying, the trigger words and things that they use to push these albums. A lot of that stuff is used to trigger marketing, the psychology behind all of it. I'm in sales, so I understand all of that. But when it comes to being married and being independent, it just doesn't mix. And like Angry Man was saying, none of us really are independent. We're all dependent on something or someone, and primarily someone. So Sierra and Russell really are, honestly, at this point, it just seems like it's what are they called? A publicity stunt? Those type of relationships where it's just like, singer marries sports guy, and he has all this money, yet she has a career too, and all the independent stuff is just for her to be able to push whatever white man is signing that check. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, it seems like women are women today. Let me say this first too, so that we make this clear. I believe in a real society, in a nation, everything is a man's fault, essentially, as long as the women give that man authority and coverage over them. If you don't want him to have no responsibility over you, then you have to move to the side and let him go lead someone else, right? But our women have been using 50-50 and equality to have leverage over decisions that's destroying society. So if you're saying that men were using toxic masculinity and power to dominate women, but you wanted men to be more responsible of a society, why is it that women aren't using 50-50 and equality to be more responsible of the society and making better decisions that enhance our society? Because at this point, it seems that our women are having fake outrage. And let's use a situation. It seems like our women are having fake outrage over them saying black men are picking a white woman and being able to make money with her over our responsibility to the community. But it's okay if our woman puts money, feminism, herself, and sexual liberation using the white man and white women against her man over her responsibility to society. So if you're going to tell the black man to show up for society and for the family, then the black woman has to show up for society and the family.
But black ladies are not going to do that, because I believe black women don't understand their role. All these other races know their role as a female and as a wife or, a partner. But we as blacks, no, it doesn't happen. They feel it's more like on a selfish act. I got to get my money up. I got to be a boss babe. I got to do all these things that is actually destroying the community of family. We don't have a family dynamic because everybody want to be a boss when you could just, gravitate into, because family doesn't if you take the word boss out, what do you have? Because it's like that's all they thinking about is money, 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 money. What can I do? What can I get? All about me, me, me. It's like selfish. So that means that you don't understand life. Life is not about just you. Why are these people having kids if you just want to be selfish and do what you want to do? That means you shouldn't be procreating or anything. You should be doing what you want to do. And when you're ready to have your kids, good luck with that, because depending on how old you try and do that at. But you need to, it's like, what happened to that? Everybody want to be independent when independent is lonely, but everybody's saying they don't care about being lonely, which is weird as hell, but you want kids. So if you want kids, then you shouldn't want to be independent. If you want kids, you should want a man. But everything is like, I don't want none of this. I just want everything to myself. I want this type of child. I only want one kid. Matter of fact, I want a girl. Like, how about just get with a productive human being, have a productive ass life, and then live happy that way. And if we're going to talk about, I know happy was a topic earlier. That's the form of happiness, because that's in the biblical standards. Everything outside of the Bible seems to be happy for everybody. There's nowhere in that Bible does it say for women to be single and alone and not have kids and not have a damn covering. So let's get back to the biblical principles, and maybe this weird ass independent lifestyle will go away.
I would say, Lady Di, I don't even think that it's that people want a specific thing. I think it's because everybody I think it's because they want it all, and they think they can have it all. So they think they can live an independent life and have a husband. They think they can live. They think they can live their early 20s doing whatever they want, and then at 30, a man will fall out the sky or a baby will come. I think they want it all. And the problem is when you're trying to chase it all, you're trying to get it all, you will never be happy because it'll never come. You can't have it all. Kevin Samuels said it best. Life is about choices and trade-offs. What choice do you make, and what are you willing to trade for it? What are you willing to give up for it? And that's the reality. Everybody wants it all. Well, I ain't gonna, because Ali gonna get on my ass, but
what?
Ali, pause.
I don't think they necessarily want it all. They're fighting
The
against
illusion
what
of
their
all.
parents were saying. So, well, it depends on if they were raised by a single mother. But a lot of single mothers say, don't do like I did. Make sure you have your own. So they start telling
that you
those
don't need a
things to their
man.
little girls. Yeah, but they start selling those things to their little girls when they're little. So as they grow up, they're thinking, I need to make sure I get enough so I can take care of myself. So I don't need anybody. Like my mom needed help. I'm going to make sure that I have more than what she had so I can provide for my family, regardless of if the man stays or not. Because a lot of these things were like horror stories. Like you don't want a man to walk out on you. And you don't have no money. You don't have nothing saved up. You don't have no job. Don't be like your mama, or don't be like your grandma. So these horror stories were put into little girls' heads from the time they were little. And as they grew up, they grew with that fear of not having money. So they're focused on the money part. But the mom didn't focus on make sure you have the right partner, make sure you marry the right person, make sure you don't have children until you're married. That's not so much pushed as make sure you have the money. So once they get the money side, then they'll realize later, oh, wait, I didn't get any of these other things. So they're going to be telling their kids, don't just focus on money, focus on X, Y, and Z. So it's all based off of what they're raised focusing on, and they focus on that. They teach their kids, don't do like me, do better than me. And it's just a cycle in that way.
I agree with that, fantasy girl. But to me, I feel like a lot of us are not growing with common sense. Because if you look around you and you see all these ladies who live in this life of, promoting that independent single mother, like they're choosing to do those things, it looks like struggle. Like you doing everything by yourself because you want to. That's not happy. And they're looking at that like, ooh, I can do that. If you think about the actual life that you really, really want, a lot of people just want to be financially stable, right? And kind of do what they want to do. You're not going to be able to do that being a single parent and choosing to be a single parent. So that's where the common sense comes in at. Because guess what? I was taught the same damn thing, right? But when I looked around me, I was like, I'm better than that. Like, why would I want that? So that's where it comes into like confidence. You have to understand your value as a woman in this society. It's like we look at ourselves so low that we're like, we can't get that. And then when we get somebody good, then it's like, nah, I don't want that. Matter of fact, I'd rather stay in this place because it's comfortable for me. When it's like, why is that comfortable? You shouldn't want to live that way, especially if you were a female in this society. You should want to be protected and have a father, male figure in the house with you to raise these kids. These kids do a lot of stuff. If anybody on here that got kids, y'all already know kids are a lot of work, to be honest, right? And we have them, right? But we're not giving up. I'm just saying, if you want to have children, have kids, but do it right. Don't look around you and say, well, my grandma told me this, so this is what I'm going to do. That's stupid. If you look at your grandma and all these people around you that's not doing the things that is actually the right way to live, then you're just like them, which to me, that's stupid as hell. You cannot live and think that that's okay. You have to have common sense in this society if you want to thrive. It doesn't have to be relationship. It's anything. Relationship, money, all of the stuff that you want, you have to have it. If you don't have it, then you just wasting space and you're like a fly on the wall.
I think it also depends on life circumstances as well, because I agree with what Fantasy said. I grew up around everybody being married. You know, I grew up with a great example of everyone sticking together, even through, you know, cheating, like getting marriage counseling. I grew up, both of my parents are ministers. So I grew up heavy in church and everybody had a partner, you know. However, when I moved, I'm from Virginia, but when I moved at 17, I moved to LA. And they say, you know, that's like the devil's playground. And I feel like life circumstances made me not know how to navigate through life and understand people, understand myself, love myself, all the things that I feel like the biggest thing is, like, once you start healing, you realize those things. It's not necessarily like someone taught me, oh, get your money up. You know, it was life circumstances that I felt like I just need to get my money up. That's just where I need to put my head at. I don't even have to worry about this. Or when I was presented with an opportunity, like, maybe this is a nice person. I had been through so much trauma. I had been raped as a child. You know, so many things where it's like, how am I supposed to? Oh, you saw what?
You gotta watch that R
You have
word.
to say grape.
Who? Oh,
grape.
It's like that messed with me chemically. Like, in my brain, I did not know how to then navigate with men. And I'm still young, and thankfully I just had the urge to want to fix the things that I knew. Like, for some reason, I keep putting myself in this position. I keep being drawn to people that treat me like I'm small. I keep being drawn to people that treat me like I'm nothing. Why? Why am I doing that? Why am I constantly doing that? Why do I constantly end up in these situations where I know it's probably because I think small of myself? I don't think I'm beautiful. I didn't went through the Britney phase where I shaved my head. Like, I didn't went through, you know what I mean, so many things. So I think not everything is just because, you know, my mom was single, or, you know, my grandmother was single, or I just don't have common sense. Sometimes you just don't know how to navigate life that happens to you, and that gets hard. It just, we don't have a community that talks about, hey, you keeping your legs open, and well, what, you know, do you have anything that's going on? Was your father abusive? Was it certain things? Mom and dad might have been in the house, but what was going on in the house? And did those things influence you? And now when we're talking about it later on, it's just like, okay, well, you know that science shows when you've had these type of events happen, you think this way, and it leads to these things. Now you sleep around because that's your way to fulfill yourself. Now you do these things. Now you turn to drugs. Like, whatever it is, I think ultimately it's not always just as simple as like, you're like, it's stupid that you don't just think to, you know, be better. You know, sometimes it just, you don't know to be better. And you don't know that until you're revealed in a situation. For me, my fiance revealed that to me. I was at my wit's end of like, damn, I'm so fed up with myself. I hate how I live. Like, I hate that I have people that every time I'm out of your space, I just feel bad about myself. But this person doesn't make me feel bad. But I'm scared of this person, because even though you don't make me feel bad, I feel like you're just playing the long game. You know, I'm like, you have to be just being super, super,
Baby,
super
wait a
duper nice
minute.
in
Wait a
the end.
minute. Wait. Just read the chat. Just read the chat. We'll just continue.
I mean,
I don't want you. I know we're comfortable, right?
Oh,
We're all up
yeah.
here. We're not judging you, but be careful with what you put out.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Take it from me. They will. If you say anything to trigger somebody, certain people on these shows, they will try to dig in your past because they don't have anything to use. They try to use your past against you. So.
Oh, okay. But yeah, long story short, like sometimes it's just, I feel like a lot of people just don't know better. And it's not like it's just out there plastered on the face of social media and the entire world on how to get better when you're going through all these things and how to do better and how to acknowledge your problems. You know, so
I agree. Yeah, people don't know better, but that's an excuse. You have to
yeah,
learn.
it
So
was
you're
an excuse
young.
for me.
You
Yeah,
said you learned, right?
yeah,
You're still young. So the fact that you know, I guess now are able to understand that at this young age, but see what happens is the mentality carries on for like 10, 20 years and it
yeah,
doesn't change. And that's the problem that I'm saying. Like none of us were well, I don't want to say none of us. Majority of us was not raised to have this productive life, traditional lifestyle. None of us were, right? Most of us weren't. But in this, it is what it is at this point. But you still have to learn and fight through that. Like I guess that's what you're saying, and kind of stop that cycle early. Because let's say if you didn't stop it, right?
right.
You feel that you are, I guess, successful in that way. You have a fiance, right? So now imagine if you didn't do that and you were 35 at this point, you would have probably continued that path of going into a cycle, right? Which is damaging the community, right? Not just your house, it's damaging the community. It's a community base. A lot of people that have these lifestyles, you're one part of it, right? But it's a lot of y'all doing that. So when you have so many people doing the same thing, it's messing up the community. So you would, you know, just saying, I'm just giving a plain example. If you continue the lifestyle, then it's like, okay, well, you're not learning, and then now you're just being immature.
Yeah.
You could look, like I said earlier, you could look around you and kind of, do better.
All right.
Yeah.
Carrie, you want to take us home with this one?
Yeah. So what I hated the most about the video is that every time she makes a video or a post, it always just brings down her husband. I feel like her husband already is broadcast as like the simp of the world that married the girl that is lit. You know what I'm saying? And every time she does a video, it's like he always gets the short end of the stick. Just like when she's walking red carpet with her butt out, he's standing next to her looking real sorry. And it's like she doesn't protect her husband's like image at all. Like she's okay with everybody. I'm sure she knows that everybody has said, "Oh yeah, get a Russell," or "Russell's a simp" to some of the guys that will say this. But she doesn't build her man up. It's always bringing him down. Because imagine if the video was vice versa and he's winning a Super Bowl and he's like, "Babe, I don't need you." And she'd be like, "What do you mean I need you?" That won't look good. That wouldn't make her look like a woman that is being appreciated or a woman that is in his life that he holds to a high standard. And I just feel like whenever she drops a twerk video and do all these things, it always goes back to him and makes him look bad. And there's nothing that she does to make him look like he's an authority figure in her life. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that she shows in an interview or broadcast that will say like, "Oh yeah, Russell handles that and he makes sure I'm straight about this," because she can build up her husband, but she just chooses not to. And on top of it, she's a celebrity, an artist, and she doesn't even show that she's showing social responsibility to women, because everything that she do is just like, to me, for fun. Like at your age now, I know she can dance very well, and I've seen her dance. She dances well, but you're like almost at 40 and you're still twerking. Like, come on, let the young girls twerk now. You don't have to twerk
She didn't.
in your house.
Let the young girls twerk. Teddy has to not do that. Like, that's
right?
the
Like,
problem.
I like to dance when you're younger, but you're older now. Why are you still twerking?
I think she gets off on what she's doing to Russell. I honestly believe she gets off on it.
So bad for his image, and it doesn't seem like she's concerned about it whatsoever. Like that's basically her do husband. Like, "Oh babe, I'm doing this tomorrow." Okay, and then she's twerking. That's it.
I guarantee you one day we're gonna catch a video of him.
There's women out there like that, and there's men that actually want those women. Like there's men that obviously don't care to be married, but they still get married over and over and over, right? And we judge them every time they get remarried. And then there's women out there who are completely fine doing things that are considered embarrassing to their husband. And they always end up with the same type of guy that's completely fine with them embarrassing them. So I think everyone has their right person. And
she's not winding up with the
Russell likes her like this.
When it was Future, she wasn't doing none of that.
When it was 50, she wasn't doing a time where she wasn't
would have married
her
Future.
ass.
I'm not
talking about. I'm not talking about the whole twerking thing. I'm talking about the way that people look at Future. I mean, look at Russell because of the things that she do. No, she was not doing those very same things to Future.
Exactly, because he had a hold on her.
They weren't even together that long.
Yeah,
They were
It
together
had
long
years
enough.
and
she
years
was
to get
always
into
looking
this
like the
situation with
good
her and
girl
Russell.
with Future. Like Future was like the bad boy, and like he's with Sierra, the good girl. But now that image is out the door now. Because when she was with Future, everyone was like, "Oh, Sierra shouldn't be with Future. She's too good
She's
for
too
that."
good for
You
him.
know.
Yeah.
Now it's like she took on the role of the leader in her marriage, and it's now she could do whatever she wants. And Russell is the guy that's like, "Oh, he's with Sierra." You know, Sierra
They
does
were
whatever she wants.
they were together for 2 years.
I didn't say
Her
they
her
weren't.
and Future were together for 2 years. And then how long did it take before her and Russell got married? Maybe like a year or two?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? She's been
So we've been
making Russell.
analyzing their
What's
relationship
going
for
on?
years, is what I'm saying. Future and
But
her had 2 years for us to analyze, and they didn't have 2 years of like we knew they were together. They were together for that time, but we didn't. They don't
But she was
immediately
not
come
in the
out and say, "Hey, we're
limelight
in a
like
relationship."
that.
But that's what I'm
She was
saying.
not in
That's
the
So we didn't
limelight
even.
like that.
that's
You're
the
saying
point.
she got to get comfortable with him to get to break in that whole mentality or something. Is that what you're
That's
saying?
not what I'm saying at all, Bruiser. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying their time together, probably a majority of it, we didn't even know they were together. And then by the time we knew they were together, they were in the part where they were breaking up. They had a baby together. It wasn't working out, and they were breaking up. So I just feel like we can't really compare her relationship to
She
Russell
would
because
she
they've
would
been married for
never
years.
she would never do that with Future. She would never do that with 50 if they had been together for a while. They are different types of dudes. And the reason why is because she knew that if she behaved in a way that Future wouldn't like, he would drop her like a bad habit and get another chick. The reason why she does this with Russell is because she know Russell ain't going nowhere.
As a matter of fact, her and Russell got
She would do it
together.
with all of them.
Her and Russell first met in May of 2015. They were married by July of 2016. They were together less time than her and Future were together, and we've been dogging out Russell since within the first year.
Because she
We've
knew
been
she
talking
got
about Russell
she
for
knew
almost 10
Russell.
years now.
Because
Russell,
he's easy
That's the
to
point that I'm
deal with.
making. It's been
That's why
almost
she
10
married
years.
him so quickly. Future didn't marry her quickly because he's not easy. He wasn't easy to capture. She captured him very easily, and they got married quickly. And he's been by her side ever since. And she's still doing and conducting herself how she chooses, which is what he accepts.
Russell was her retirement plan.
Yep. And she's straight
You're
up.
right. Every woman got it when they reach hoflation. Everybody got up for time. Y'all look in the mirror. When y'all get to that point.
Hey, I looked it up. My bad. I responded to people in the comment. Yeah, I looked it up. But we've been Joan and Russell since they got married. And that was less than a year. So we've been Joan and him since year one of their marriage. Nobody said anything about Future because she wasn't embarrassing Future. In fact, she was
But
getting embarrassed.
Mariah Carey wasn't embarrassing Nick, and they were going in on him from the moment he married her.
She was embarrassing Nick. She was embarrassing Nick.
What was she doing to him?
Oh my God. Every chance she got, she emasculated Nick.
I missed it. Sorry. Let me just shut up.
No, what did she do? I don't recall. I remember her being very quiet in that marriage. Like I don't remember her doing no interviews or doing anything wild.
Me neither.
Mariah Carey is not well. For one, Mariah Carey is not wild, and she doesn't do a lot of interviews. Okay.
Yeah.
What she did was like one example is he was doing the show Wild and Out, right? And he was kind of I guess Mariah felt like he was being too comfortable with the chicks up there. And she literally came out in the middle of the show and was like, yo, you need to stop tripping because I'll shut all of this shit down.
Y'all don't remember the ongoing joke?
I know that wasn't all.
Y'all don't remember the ongoing joke? There was an ongoing joke on Wild and Out about how him and Mariah Carey dealt with one another.
Yeah.
It was an ongoing joke about him being with Mariah Carey and them sleeping with Mariah Carey. I'll sleep with your wife.
No, it was an ongoing joke about Mariah Carey running his life.
Oh, I missed the
Like,
joke.
Don't make me call
Yeah, he
Mariah on
definitely
you.
was
That's
dating
all.
a mega woman.
I'll put it to you
Yeah,
like
they
this.
brought the car seat out and everything.
I'll
They
put it to you.
car
I'll
seat.
put it
Man,
to
he
you.
got a big ass tattoo on his back.
I'll put it to you like this. She would have never, the way she carried it with Nick, she would have never carried it like that with Tommy Mottola. And she didn't.
Because he was okay. We can understand why
we're gonna
she
go
wouldn't do
Wait,
it.
does
I'm
Nick
not-
still have that tattoo on his back though?
I'm
No,
sure
he
he
got to
does.
remove. He got to.
Oh wow.
You know, Eminem got the same tat on his back.
Same tit tat that's on this back. I ain't shit.
Well, that should say a lot then about Mariah then.
But that was like the beginning. They were just roasting each other. That was pretty funny though.
I mean, well, he didn't have to keep it.
On a comedy show.
Had it for a
too.
long time, so that says a lot about.
But yeah, it's been an ongoing joke for a minute about how Mariah was running him. They used to talk about him all the time. Don't make me call Mariah. You know that's Mariah's money. Like,
Yeah.
it used to be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, y'all are really gonna act like women don't get with certain men and act a certain way, but if they get with a different type of man, they don't act that way.
No, I'm not
No,
acting like
we
that. I agree with you on
I
that.
said that. Yeah,
Certain
I said
men.
that initially.
Oh, I know this is
Yeah.
gonna sound terrible, but I agree with Mr. Let Go that women are gonna do what you allow. So if you're with a man that's gonna let you do more, you're gonna do more with that man. And if you're with a man that's gonna require you to have discipline, you're gonna do less with that man. So I
And
agree with
those
Mr.
type-
Let Go on that part.
Those type of women are no good. You don't want a lady like that. You want someone that's going to respect you, period.
But respect is different for every man.
You know what it is?
No, it ain't.
The reality is that you really can't make a woman do nothing. It's a choice whether she wants to.
Yeah, she has to be willing to do it.
And I
Just
think
be
the thing is that a lot of women know that because the reality is the only thing a man can do to get a woman to stop doing something while they're in a relationship is leave.
Yeah.
You can't tell her nothing.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? If you're in a relationship with a woman, you should be able to tell her something.
You
and she
can't
should
tell if she
take
doesn't want to
heed
do it,
and
she will
register the
not do
information,
it.
make a change.
If she doesn't want to do it, you cannot.
Well, if she
make it.
doesn't want to do it, that means she don't want to be with you, and that's a fact.
But that's what I'm
So,
saying is that the only
you want to
thing
be
she
with
can
somebody that
do-
wants to be with you, not somebody that don't want to be with you. So I'm gonna get somebody, even if she was a little bit wild, maybe you're gonna tame her a little bit. She will respect you enough, want to be with you enough to make those necessary changes.
You don't think that
That's
women?
it.
You don't think that women can take advantage of a man being able not
Yes.
wanting to leave?
Wait, say that again.
You
Women
don't
can
think
take
that
advantage
women?
of
You
it?
don't think that women will take advantage of a man not wanting to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah,
people
because
can-
he is not giving any consequences. That's a
Right.
fact.
And the
You have to
only
have a
consequence,
consequence.
barring something illegal, that a man can do is leave when he's dealing with a uncooperative woman.
Yeah.
And the moment she doesn't, and the thing is that she will stay right there with him as long as he's willing to stay, and she can be uncooperative.
But you have to vet that woman, make sure your woman is cooperative.
That's not the point I was making.
What's your point? That a
My-
woman would do it? She would push the limits. Of course, she's going to push your limits. You have to stop it somewhere as a man. That's a fact.
You got to set the boundaries in the beginning. If you
That's
let me
people,
do
though.
whatever I
People
want to
have to
do,
set boundaries.
exactly. You have to set boundaries from the beginning. If you let me
Man,
do whatever I feel is
Most
comfortable,
women are
whatever I feel is
There's
There's so
plenty
many
of women that
different
stay
ways
with
it could
men
go.
even though they treat them bad because they don't
That-
want to, and they know that they're not going to leave, so they walk out the
Mm,
house
yeah.
and they're sitting there crying. I think
How do
that's
you
doing whatever they want.
how do you enforce the boundary?
sorry.
How
You
do you
enforce the boundary by saying, "This is what my standard is. If you do not meet this standard, I'm
We
going to
will not
leave. If
Yeah,
you,
you have
this is
Right.
what my
Right.
boundary is. If you
But
cross
y'all-
this
men
boundary,
don't
I'm
Do
going
y'all
to
see the
leave."
danger of
That's
what
the
y'all
problem.
doing? Though? The fact that the man has to put his whole life in being a great man, and a woman can get away with being a bad woman by whenever it fails, either she was traumatized or the man was weak. Not women need to show up as a woman, and it's always
No,
he.
that's
No,
not
no,
what
no,
I'm
no.
stating.
Wait, I don't get it,
No,
Ollie,
I'm
what
gonna
you're
say it. I'm
going.
gonna say it again. Men are fighting for their kids. Men are fighting for relationships. Men are fighting for marriages in a society where women say that they're strong and independent and don't need marriage or don't need men. Y'all say it every single day. So then
And
when
women
something-
are fighting for
hold on,
relationships
let me
too.
finish. And then when you finally meet a man, after you had all these other men that hyped you up and did everything for you like Sierra, y'all flip the script and say because he was weak or because you were traumatized. It's always something about something wrong with the man. He either traumatized you or he's weak. It's not women are not showing up as women. If a man gets up in stature, like Angry Man was talking about, if a man does all this progressing How is a woman progressing by the time she gets to 30? She's compromised her entire self, and a man now is supposed to marry a woman. And if she doesn't act like a woman or doesn't know how to be a woman,
the only option he got is
I was
leave.
traumatized. And you weak for not making me submit. No, the woman weak for not being a woman. It's simple as that. You should.
We're not talking about whether or not he can submit. I feel like you're missing the point.
No, listen. If he can't lead, he's a weak man. You shouldn't be there. If he's making you submit,
I'm not talking about a weak man
if
either.
you having sex with him, if today's society we having more sex and marriages, sex and babies than marriages, it means the women ain't who they say they are. The men are though, because they keep getting women. Women can't keep men. That means they're not being women. Men are still being men. I don't care how you can say he weak. You can say whatever you want to do. Babies are popping up everywhere, and we having sex everywhere. We having a lot of sex. We having good sex, but ain't no commitment going on because the woman is having sex with a man. She'll commit on her back, but she won't commit to be a wife. Now you say I can't make her be a wife, but I can get her to have sex. There's something wrong with that, and she's supposed to be valuable. We saying women are divine. So if women truly respect themselves and the guy, shouldn't she have prioritized sex, marriage before the sex?
Right,
but that's a people
completely different
things
things right now.
Those people not respecting
One at a time, fam, one at a time.
Respecting either though.
The ultimate point.
It is both
No,
people.
it's not, because no, you're not. Hold on.
You can't.
If angry man got 50 bodies, Sweeney got 50 bodies, I got 50 bodies. It shows my value, and Bruiser got 50 bodies. Those women want to have sex with those men. Excuse me. They want relationships with those men. Most of the time, if a woman is laying on her back, she wants to deal with a man who has potential. Men could just have sex for no reason, but men are treating society accordingly.
But how does that show your value?
Hold on, let me finish. If most women are moving as wives, men are gonna get married. We stop putting it back on the man because he's weak. He's weak with Sierra, but if he finds a woman who's over sexualized, she's traumatized, and she's still healing. And now she's going on a journey till she's 40, 50 years old. She's going on a journey to self-heal and self-happiness. It's ridiculous, y'all. Y'all gotta stop that.
I was gonna
But that's not what I'm talking about at all. Wait a minute. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm not talking about weak men, and I'm not talking about women that refuse to be submissive. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm saying you need to make your boundaries plain from the beginning so that you don't have to walk it back, that you let her do whatever she wanted to do.
How do you enforce it?
One at a time, one at a time.
Yeah, and that's both.
You enforce your boundaries by being willing to leave. You have nothing to lose. You have no skin in the game if you just met this person. They shouldn't be breaking your boundaries. As you are telling them your boundaries and you're getting to know you stage, they should not be crossing those boundaries. As soon as she starts playing with you, you have to be willing to leave. And a lot of people are not willing to leave because they want the possibility of what could be. But that's the problem I'm seeing. People don't have their boundaries set, and they move the boundary line, all while they're dating, all while they're engaged, all while they're married, until the point where they get fed up, and that's when they're like, "You've been pushing my buttons this whole time."
That's really easy for you to say.
I think a lot of people set boundaries at the beginning, and people just break the boundary.
No, they don't. They don't, because here's the thing. Here's what fantasy isn't addressing. First of all, when a guy meets a woman, they're going out on the first date. The woman is going to tell him everything that she don't accept. The guy ain't going to say nothing. And the reason why he ain't going to say nothing is because he know enforcing a boundary on that first date is not going to get him a second date. It definitely ain't going to get him no box.
Right.
Because that's the society that we live in today. So what happens is guys will see behavior that they don't like and they will ignore it just for the possibility of being able to deal with the woman or around the woman. Okay. They're not able to set boundaries. And the reason why is because the society. Now, look, somebody like, say, me or maybe Ali or, Bruiser or Junior, one of, Sweeney, one of us on the panel, we're a little bit older. So if we were dating, we're going to set a boundary because we already been around the bend. We know what it is, right? But when you're looking at a younger guy who's in his early 20s or whatever, and let's say it's an average guy, let's say he's not that attractive, right? And he gets a date with a woman that he really wants. He ain't saying shit. He gonna sit there and nod his head to everything that she say, and it's gonna be whatever she want it to be. The average guy does not get to set boundaries with women. Women look, if you go to an average dating site, right, and you look at the guy's dating profile, he's going to be selling himself. This is what I'm able to do. I make this amount of money. I go on vacations. I speak multiple languages, blah, blah, blah. You go to the average woman's profile, and it's going to be everything that she doesn't want.
If you broke, don't DM me. If I got 4 kids, so you got to accept me and my children.
Facts.
Don't what is it? I don't like short men.
Yep.
I don't
no short men. Don't hit me up.
Your supporters.
Don't hit me up if you just want some booty. Like all of those things. And she's not selling herself. What she's doing is she's assuming that she can already get what she wants, but she's letting you know what she's not going to tolerate from you. Women today are not trying to sell themselves to men. They're not trying to say, you should be with me because I'm nurturing, I'm loving, I'm loyal, I am, want to have kids one day. They're not trying to sell their best attributes.
Right.
I want to ask women on the panel, is this true? Do you guys agree? I mean, we have women on the panel that can.
I agree to an extent. I would say, like, I can't always look and reflect on my situation because I know my man put boundaries straight up. Like, but we were friends, like, and I think that is so important. Like, it was never, I'm gonna fuck you over. You're my best friend. So first of all, like, are we even gonna be able to make this work? Because really, what do we want at the end of the day? And we discussed that, and he said what he do and don't tolerate and what he does and does not want. And we have been straight since there. Communication is like top notch over here in terms of like, we're always going to hear each other out in terms of how to make each other happy. I understand that for 24-year-olds, that might not be the normal, but and like, even when I watch podcasts all the time, it is always, well, women don't take accountability and men don't take accountability. But in reality, would it not be better if both put boundaries from jump? Like, is that not the solution that both come forward? Right. So the conversation shouldn't always be revolved on how bad we are. We already know we're really bad. Like, it's very crappy out there. But at the end of the day, it's like, well,
but you
so
just
what
said
should we be doing that gives Bruiser is married
really
and children? How is your
you
marriage
just-
successful based off of how you communicate with your
But
wife?
you just
How do
said-
y'all make things in? How do you teach a younger person that, hey, mamas, you're unhappy. You feel like every night you crying in your pillow because you keep ending up with the wrong people and he's just a booty call? Or, oh, hey, dude, you feel like you was trying to commit to this girl, but she want to go claim
But
she's
you-
independent
but you
take this
just-
chick and go
but
out to
you-
the club with her friends. Well, how do you change that?
But you
'Cause at
just said a little while ago, and I had the camera off, but I was listening. You said a little while ago, it's not that simple. You could come up with 2-parent household or whatever, and you could still be out here doing things wrong because
it's not that simple. That's why I'm saying, how do we get the solution?
Because there's nobody. We just gave you the solution, but you don't even realize it. You dismissed the solution because you said that we don't have a culture of people to tell these women that what they're doing is wrong, and that's not true. We do have a culture of people telling these women that what they're doing is wrong, but when the moment we say it, what did you just say a second ago? You said you don't have to keep telling us how bad we are. Yes, we do. We have to keep telling you until you finally.
But this whole conversation ends on. I'm not saying that. Of course, you have to address a problem. So we could start. You could put a clock in 5 minutes. Usually, is going to be taken up addressing the problem instead of the first 30 seconds saying, "Hey, y'all don't submit or you don't let the man play their role. This is how you fix it." That's 10 seconds saying what the problem is, and the rest of the 4 minutes and 40 seconds saying what the solution is. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, yes, we know that. The same way we know that there's men that have good women at home that still need to.
Okay. Hold on for a second.
Let's do one at a time so the audience can better hear us.
Hold on for a second. Okay, first of all, here's the problem. Men are supposed to be leaders, right? Okay. You got to stop telling us what we can and can't do when it comes to correcting y'all. Period. If he wants to talk about the issues for 5 minutes, then he can talk about the issues for 5 minutes. He wouldn't even be able to talk about the issues if the issues weren't there. Because here's the reality when it comes to dating and mating and all this. The average woman doesn't give a damn about a man's happiness. And that's the reason why on those dating sites, they're listing off the things that they're not going to tolerate because they believe that you being with them and doing for them is a given. They believe it's your responsibility. Half the time, they don't even like the dudes they dealing with. They're just with them because there's some benefit to it. This is how guys end up in sexless marriages. So this is a reality. The reality is there are a lot of guys that are not going to set boundaries. I tell guys all the time to set boundaries, but they're not going to do it. And the reason why they're not going to do it is because they know that if they come on from the beginning, setting a boundary, 9 times out of 10, that woman is not going to deal with them, because nowadays women are not used to men setting boundaries with them. That's just a reality.
But angry man, how are women going to
He
get used
deserves
to men
everything
setting
he
boundaries
gets.
if you
But
all
one
shy
at a
away
time.
from it
Hold on,
from
hold on,
fear
hold
of
on, hold
losing
on.
pussy?
One at a time, so they can hear us.
How are men going to start setting boundaries and women going to start accepting boundaries from men if every man is accepting, oh, I'm not going to give any boundaries because women aren't used to that? I wasn't getting any boundaries up until I wasn't getting any boundaries up until my last relationship. They let me do whatever I wanted to do, so I did whatever I wanted to do without knowing it was a problem.
Here's the
Him
answer.
telling me that I had boundaries
Here's the
didn't
answer.
run me away.
Here's the answer. Here's the answer. The same way us men know that there are certain things we have to do to be considered good men, for women to want to be with us. In other words, we have to, have a career. We have to be able to handle our business. We have to be able to provide, be able to protect. The same way we know all of those things and we're putting our best foot forward to get a woman to be with us. Why can't y'all just do that? Why can't y'all just go back to being ladies? Why can't y'all go back to acting a certain way? Not because you're with a certain guy, but that's just the standard that you operate under as a woman.
I was gonna say that, like, why is there even a boundary? You should be acting like a feminine woman, a submissive woman. Why is it that you have to have a boundary, or a man has to tell you what you got to be doing, when you should already be doing it? Why is it that this is even a conversation?
Because they wasn't given any boundaries before they met the man. When they came, their upbringing, their mentalities was shaped with endless opportunities and endless reach.
That's
The woman is conditioned to be able to do whatever she want with her body, how she want to do, and act and behave and challenge a man and combat him and compete. Their whole mindset is set without a God. The society is shaping women's mentality to not have a governor screw like you used to have. Not to say, oh look, that's not my place. I'm a woman. I'm gonna stay in my place. Women are out of order now. So
why
now when
do
they
they
need a man,
expect-
now a man got to. I'm not saying we should have to do it, but I'm saying it's to the point to where men got to let a woman know, like, you ain't supposed to be doing that shit. You need to stop. Shut the hell up. The problem is when we do that, they call us misogynistic, or they call us
bashers, women bashers.
So
Even
why do they
things as
expect
small
men
as you
to
going
have?
to the
Why do they expect men to be providers then? If that's the case, if we're going to use our
It's never
excuse that, we
changed.
all didn't have this and that, right? Which is true, right? But why is it that we are expecting men to be this way then, and not giving them grace, and the ones that are quote unquote not, giving them grace and be like, oh well, I had a fucked up life too. Let's work on this together. Why isn't ladies doing that?
Like,
Or
watch
not.
this.
Just like they're sorry.
Watch
Go ahead,
this. Watch this. Ali, let me ask you a question. What would you be willing to do for a woman that is loyal, submissive, cooperative, and gives you the utmost respect? What are you willing to do for that type of woman in a marriage?
We had that discussion before. Outserve her, do anything for her.
This is the reality of what this is what's so funny. This is what's so funny about this. You have a lot of guys that are still traditional guys. And the reason why is because the world doesn't allow men to be new age. The world still expects us to be the men we were in the 50s or the 20s. They still expect us to provide. They still expect us to protect the woman. They still expect us to have responsibility over the women. It's the women who have decided to operate differently. And the funny thing about it is the very thing that y'all want, you actually push away. With all of the independence talk, with all of the ain't no man gonna tell me what to do, ain't no man gonna boss me around. Like y'all literally cause men to be jaded. And what happens is when those men deal with you on a first date and they start interacting with you, and you're telling them what they can and can't do, but they can't tell you anything. What ends up happening is those men get upset and they get vindictive. And then what they do is they be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to put up with her stuff until I get the buns. And then after they get the buns, they ghost you. And you'd be like, well, why did they do that? It's because they felt slighted. They felt like you did them wrong because you didn't really come into it honestly. you came into it like, yo, I'm gonna tell him what to do, and he just gonna have to accept it, and whatever I want, that's what it's gonna be, and that's not a relationship.
Yeah, I agree with you, Angry Man, and I think we're misunderstanding each other because I'm not talking about women being like blatantly disrespectful. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about them dressing provocatively, dancing on somebody, anything like that. But I found out after I was married that when your husband's friends come to the house, even if they were your friends before, you have to go to the room. You're not supposed to be in there chilling with everybody if their wives aren't there. I didn't know that was a rule. I didn't know that was a boundary. I found that out after I was married. Everybody that's married in my family, when people's significant other comes over, it doesn't matter who's in the room, we all still sitting in the room. If it's a large group, we'll split up. The girls usually end up with the girls, the men end up with the men. But if it's just a couple of friends and a woman, we're all still sitting in there. I found out later that's a boundary for some people. So I'm just saying these specific boundaries.
Fantasy conflating, because you're saying that you want to be a cooperative woman and learn how to be a woman versus a woman who's not trying to learn.
Yeah, but I need boundaries. That's what I'm saying.
But it's taken away from the conversation, because we're not talking about a woman who's trying to be cooperative and learn versus a woman who can go to another woman and learn and doesn't want to learn or doesn't want to learn from a man. So we are again derailing again, because if he does what you want him to do, you know how many brothers I know in therapy and going to therapy for their women, if he does what you want him to do, he's enabling. If he sets order and he's in control and he's a man that's trying to lead you, he's toxic masculinity. If you're still trying to be promiscuous and still cheat and still find ways to not listen to this dude by going outside the household and do other things, then you traumatize. It's an excuse for everything. But this is one thing what Angry Man was saying. If I came up to all these women on this panel that are divine women, beautiful women that can be wives, and I wasn't sufficient enough for any of you, I go, man, why I couldn't get her as a wife? I'm going to go find out how to be a husband. And if not, I just wanted sex. Same thing for y'all. And I'm going to ask all the ladies here. If you're saying you want a husband and you prioritize the sex before you got a husband, did you want the husband or did you want the sex? Did you equip yourself to be a wife or did you equip yourself to open your legs? So we got to be honest about that. This is excuses. And in 2003, brothers are now taking that, throwing it in the trash. If you don't show up as a good woman, a strong, healthy woman, that's your problem. And how do I want to make sure I pronounce your name right? What are you saying? What were you saying your name was? Mirage?
Marjani.
Marjan.
Johnny.
You sat here and just talked about what a man can do to invest in you and how to build you up. That's your responsibility. That ain't my responsibility. Are you going to help a man? This is the difference between the women this generation and the last generation. The women back then will help the man get a house, get a car, build a family, do everything for that man and grow with that man and pour into that family. Almost everybody here said they want to be with no broke man. And that's why men end up not being loyal to today's women, because they don't want to help them build. They just want to help him. They want to get what he has his resources, and that still ends up not good enough because she don't want to be on his page. So if you're not going to invest in a man to be a better man, stop talking about it's my responsibility to make you a better woman. Before you deal with me, you go to another woman and find out how you be a healthy woman. That's the problem with society, because I can't fat shame you. I can't slut shame you. I can't gay shame you, but you can talk about man all day long, like Sweeney was talking about. His thing's small, he's short, he fat, he ain't tall enough. Y'all have expectations and standards out the universe. Everything. We got to do everything for y'all. We just want 3 simple things that you can't even match. But it ain't because you don't want to do it. It's because you don't know how to be a woman and you don't know how to ask. And I'm not talking about you personally. I'm saying in general. Women show up and have been hyped up so much by weak men. They call weak actually was enabling men who they should have built a relationship with. That they come to a man that they met that's an adequate man and strong man, and he has so many options, they don't know how to be a woman, so they create a problem. And the problem is really them. That's the truth.
So I agree with what you're saying. I think what I was saying earlier was misconstrued, or I just did not communicate it right. So it was not coming out correctly. I hear everything you and Angry Man are saying. I was not saying that I think it's your responsibility to teach. I was saying that I do feel a lot of this is, if I go to Google right now, right, and I say how to be a good woman, podcasts are going to come up, people's blogs are going to come up, written things are going to come up. Like it's definitely a whole bunch of knowledge. This show might come up. What I was saying is a lot of times majority of it can be where we are just talking about how bad we are. So for me, for instance, I didn't go to a woman or man. I did not have a lot of people around in my life. When I moved by myself. when I was, traveling, I traveled by myself. It wasn't until the last couple of years that I finally found people that I could talk to and people that helped me gain certain knowledge and things that I didn't know. I was a lone wolf. And you're right. When you're by yourself, you get into the most things. However, like for me, when I was learning how to become a good woman, I dove right into the Bible. I didn't go ask anyone first. I went into my Bible first. That's what I did for me. And so I'm saying, like, when we say, well, women don't know how to be good women, well, then the backing of that is like, well, we could talk about like, well, girl, what did you do when you were finding your husband? Oh, I was looking at a podcast and da-da-da, and they were saying like, it is good to be submissive, is da-da-da. Well, then now I'm a woman that's looking online and I'm seeing like, oh, you have given me all these solutions. She says she went to the Bible. I might go and open my Bible and start looking. And now I'm getting deep and now I'm feeling more grounded. Now I'm becoming a better woman. And
I don't believe, I just don't, we
Let
don't
me ask you a
believe.
question.
Lady died, precious
like,
are
that's
called
fine.
pygmies.
You don't
No,
believe
but with all due
We gotta
respect,
kind of start finalizing this.
Hold on, wait,
Lady Di and precious and good women are called goody two shoes and pygmies. A lot of women engage in bad behaviors to separate themselves from them women to get attention for being bad women because they didn't put the work in to be a good woman. And we all knew what a hoe was in middle school. Let's stop playing. We know exactly what a hoe was in middle school. That's where we learned where a hoe was. And honestly, we learned what a hoe was by seeing what our mama was doing. If you want to be truthful about that, when man coming in and out of the household, women are so used to dudes going, is that what she did to you? Is that what he did to you? Is that what they did to you? 79 to 80% of men is killing themselves. Don't nobody give a damn. You don't care about my story. You don't care about every man's story. You don't care about Sweeney's story. So if you don't show up as a woman, that's a you problem now. We understand what's going on now. That's your responsibility to show up, especially if 8 women, 16 to 15 years old, we can sit up on these panels. Angry man, I don't know how many years he been doing this. A woman to go, you don't pay my bills. I'm grown. I ain't got to listen to a damn thing you talking about. Stop. Please don't come here and pretend like women just listen to hear what men got to say. They don't.
That's not
they're
what
not
we're
like,
talking
no,
about.
I
though,
don't think we're hearing
Tyler.
that's what we do. We are not going to
okay,
do.
but that's not what I'm saying. It's all like no, like genuine, and I love the passion. Like I understand. I'm not knocking no one. I'm not saying women don't listen.
Moving on, y'all.
I'm saying in general, like as a young, because I don't know how old everyone is. I'm assuming I'm the youngest. I'm saying for myself, I appreciate that. How
54.
Do you think that the overall response to men being vocal by women was positive?
I don't think so, but I know that for me,
That's your answer.
But I know that for me, it helped, and I'm just saying, you don't
That's
have to
for
save a
you,
nation.
but for women
All
overall.
I'm saying is you don't have to save a nation, but I'm saying it was somebody being vocal about it, and like my fiance, for instance, there's a lot of things he told me about myself that yes, it hurt me, it made me feel whatever,
Pause,
literally,
pause, slow down. You're making it personal to you. I asked you about an overall general idea of men being vocal about what they want from women. We've been telling women. Do you think that the overall response has been positive? You said no.
But you
that
should
wouldn't,
not stop doing it.
That wouldn't mean that wouldn't. We're not stopping. But what I'm
yeah.
saying is that you can't make somebody do what they don't want to do. And the overall response in general has been negative when men have been vocal. And the problem isn't until that changes, until women overall start seeing and doing the things that men have been asking for in general, it would never happen. No man can go to the table and set a boundary that she doesn't already set for herself because of the culture.
That's one question, y'all, please.
No, we can say it on the back end. We say it on the back end for people that want to.
One question.
If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to go ahead and get to these super chats and we'll get to the meat of the conversation so we can be right on track to time. And Trucker Yell $2 says, weak man is terrible disease. Like, seriously. Trucker Yell again says, I see either divorce or cuckold. Next, straight up. I'll be using some more. I got to extend my vocabulary, man. That's words I ain't never heard of. Child support equals being dependent on income to take care of the child. As support, if they were independent, you not need any outside money to do that. The need to be right is strong with fantasy. All humans are independent in some way. Facts. I did 10 years in the U.S. Marines. No woman is independent in the military. Women get pregnant to skip out of deployments. You are making us veterans look bad. Please stop. Fantasy, you are
That's a
so
cap.
proper independent. It's unreal. With all these independent baby mamas running around, child support courts should be empty. Look up the dictionary definition of broke. Simple. There's no I in team, but it show is in the word single. And save the anecdotes. Please, we need each other. Angry hashtag angry man tax Russell prayer.
Russell Prayer.
Sorry, angry man, but when you do, you hear black men, any man flexing the fact that they're independent. Everyone is dependent on oxygen in the air. Fellas, the drinks on me tonight. The light skin force is strong on the panel tonight. This is for Ali, the truth seeker that brought the heat seeker. Lady Dad just called out what men who don't F with Russell Simmons been saying this whole time. Even professionally, his leadership is lacking. Sierra's glorified dancer at best. How convenient of her to sing about her independence after Russell. How you say that fucking word? Quintuple?
Quintupled.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. Her net worth after marrying her. I'm about to look this stuff up. That's how you get better. Shit.
It's 5 times.
It's 5 times. Look it up. I'm gonna start using some of these words next week, man. Y'all gonna think I'm a scholar. No one cares about Grammy songwriters or Grammys. I thought I was fucking smart. I mean, I'm a genius when it comes to creating, but I thought I was smart until I stepped on the panel with some of you motherfuckers. Damn. Like, you look at Angry Man, these motherfuckers articulate and
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. That's how you get better, though. I'm like, I got some work I need to do. I need to pick up a book and start reading it. At least I'm honest about that shit, right? Self-awareness is key. I can't get the word right though. Marjani.
Johnny. It's just Johnny.
Johnny, you can change it up on us. Not just Johnny.
No one can say it.
Johnny puts on 50 capes all at once for Sierra. She's 24, y'all. Life will teach her. DMV musician here. I've been saying for years that male producers are setting up female artists as pawns for the same destruction as gangster rap. BLK Jedi became a member. Salute to you. Johnny trying to make her basket weaver degree matter. Sierra's last album was in 2019 and none of us listened to it. Stop the BS. She's been musically relevant in over 10 years. Thanks, AM. Now I want biscuits. Russell brought her master catalog for $20 million. Who plane was that, Your Honor?
That's false.
Case.
He did not
I don't know
buy
how the top consumers invest in independent women for a profitable 2 households instead of 1. Make the elites richer. Walker, women know better. They just don't care. Can't chat because of can't chat because sub mode, but B knows we up. Vetting only goes so far. Chicks change their minds like babies change diapers. Remember? Facts, Ali. Don't let them make excuses.
I'm not.
Ali cooking, but Ali, you are wasting your time. Women don't like listening to the truth. You can't handle the truth. For every truth a man speaks, a woman will reply with an excuse. See Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island.
You already know you're really bad. Then why don't y'all get repaired? Y'all don't want to hear it from anyone, especially not black men. We're tired. Angry Man and Ali are dropping gems. Listen up, ladies. Googling how to be a wife, and I'm being upset on the amount of legwork required for the transformation. It's like Googling stocks and being mad. It doesn't tell you how to be rich instantly. It takes work. Cap, where's the ring? Stop saying you have Beyonce, you have baby daddies. Keep it 100, Cap.
Let me go get it.
They cold. They cold blooded.
Cold blooded.
All right.
Hold on, Jay. I think you got one more.
No, but sorry.
Sure. What? Oh, this one right here.
Gonna get you out there.
I still got one more.
It's good. Thank you. I just want the you came. Okay. Sweetie. Looking like Malcolm Jamal. What a pat a baby. Get it for you, bro.
That's mean as shit.
Damn.
Oh man, I did it for you, bro. There you go.
Fantasy, you're actually a very beautiful lady. It sucks you have that.
Listen, you guys, I do not have that mindset. The only thing this all spurred from me saying men need to set boundaries and hold them. Then it turned into women need to know how to act like ladies and la 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 la. I already agree with that stuff. All I'm focused on is the boundary portion.
But the culture does not allow men to set. The culture
disagree.
does not allow men to set boundaries.
Yes,
it doesn't.
I know plenty of men that do, and they get what they want because they set their boundaries.
Until she's ready to cross them.
Exactly.
That's not true.
People can cross boundaries. I get what you're saying, but if you don't set any, they're more likely to cross these boundaries they didn't know existed, right?
You don't think, man, even when they even if they don't set the boundaries up front, you don't think that men set boundaries in relationships and a woman doesn't cross them just because?
You know what? Here's the equivalent of it, right? Let's say Fantasy Island was on a date with a guy, and she's like, "Hold on, I'm about to go to the bathroom real quick," and she gets up to walk away, and he just reaches out and slaps her on the ass. Look, see the look on her face. See the look on her face. Now, you didn't say to him that he can't do that, right? You didn't say that he can't do that.
But this would have happened immediately. He would have knew.
Why?
The boundary.
Unless you like them.
No, that's not the point, Ali. That's not the point.
You know, y'all, all the men,
not the point.
women are talking about too. Unless you like them, hey, just don't do that.
Hold on, no, that's
Yes, but that's still a boundary. It's still a don't do that.
Right, look.
The point is that he doesn't. He already knows that that's probably wrong to do, so he won't do it.
Exactly.
And most of the things we know not to do, we don't do it. It's things that we don't know better, like the guy sitting in the room.
Here y'all go with a cap. Do you realize a man knows when he's in your presence, whether you're a wifey material or sex material, when he meets you? Just like when you meet him, you go, hold on. When you meet him, you go, oh, I'd have sex with him. Yeah, we do the same. We go, I had sex with her, or she has wife potential. Men do it immediately when we meet y'all. Immediately. So if you try to have to make him do something too, you already messing up anyway. He already knows. But if he puts pressure on you, just a little pressure, and you fold, and it's all downhill to them legs, then you want who you said you was. It's that easy. Just like me. You'll go, hey, Ali, yeah, you want to be my husband? Yep. Where you live? What kind of house you got? What kind of car you drive? Where you work? Y'all ask those secret questions.
As a matter of fact, I even make it better.
I can hide.
I even make it better. Fantasy. How many of you, before you got married, and your homegirls talked about things you would immediately cross a man off the list for? Even if you went on a date with him, before he didn't even know that was wrong to do, and you automatically write him off.
Better yet, Fantasy.
There are some things that you will automatically get written off for.
Better
but
yet,
that's
Fantasy.
not the point that I'm making at all. Like, there's some things you don't know better, and you need to make sure that your boundaries are set. That's all I'm saying. That's my only point.
Better yet, if I was on a date with you and I said, so Fantasy, what color panties do you have on?
What?
Would you feel that's inappropriate?
These things are known from everybody. That is
okay, but guess what?
Right?
Guess what though?
Right?
You could. There are women that will ask guys how much money they make. That's inappropriate.
And that's not even told to everybody that that's inappropriate. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Yes, that is not told to everybody. Not everybody knows that you're not supposed to discuss your salary at work. Like people.
But everybody knows you're not supposed to ask the color of somebody's panties.
Exactly. Everyone knows that standard. Not everyone knows you're not supposed to ask. You want to know people make.
Here's the thing, Fantasy. Majority of the things that make women undesirable, nobody cares. Y'all gonna do it anyway. There's no culture telling y'all not supposed to do it. The reason why there's a culture, there's a reason why there's a culture that automatically lets everybody know that it's wrong to ask a woman what kind of panties she got on, because it's the culture we know. But there's nobody telling y'all that, hey, asking a man on a first date how much money do he make is kind of done in poor taste. Even though we all know it, we've been saying it, but look at the pushback we get for saying that.
Sweeney, if she would have asked me how much money do you make on the first date, and I looked at her and said, none of your damn business. You think she's going out on a date with me?
Flag. She gonna say red flag next.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't know that some women didn't know that. I just found that out when I was dating last year.
If I ask
the fact
her,
that I know that and they didn't know that, it's like there are certain things that people think is common knowledge that's not so common. It's in my opinion.
but Sweeney, if I ask her what color her panties is, and she says none of your damn business, am I gonna go on another date with her?
Yep,
probably.
Yes, that's the difference. And that's the reason why guys culturally, so you got to realize there's certain things we do. We can talk about this on panels all day, but when a person is actually in that situation, they're going to operate the way they're socialized to operate.
Yeah. Like women being late, right? I was always late.
Yeah.
My man was like, you were late. I feel like you didn't respect me because you were late. And I was like, women are always late. And he was like, no, I felt like you were disrespecting me.
How long?
No, this is what happened. This is what happened. I was like, women are always late. And he was like, no, I felt like you were disrespecting me. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to disrespect you. And he was
Thanks
like,
for proving my point.
I would appreciate you respecting my time. And I was like,
thanks for proving my point.
Wait, girl,
but when he said that, I was like, okay. I loved it. I started being on time, doing what he said. But no one ever had a problem with me being late. He never told me.
And no one has ever said, I'm tired of you being late or you need to respect my time.
That's why I was like, well, no one's ever had a problem with me being late.
You just proved my point.
Women don't like correction.
Women don't like I changed it when he told me. So if somebody would have told me earlier, I probably could have changed it earlier.
Okay, but guess what? The reason why most dudes didn't say anything is because you're pretty and they didn't want to piss you off so that they wouldn't have the ability to go on another date with you.
Okay.
But the biggest
I
question,
got better when they told me better.
Here's another question. Who usually wants the relationship? The woman or the man?
I do.
Who usually wants the woman? So does the woman need to think more about what the man wants, or the man needs to think more about what the woman wants? Is it happy house, happy spouse, or is it happy wife, happy life? It seems like a lot of times when the man is happy, the relationship continues. Okay.
All right, let's go to get to the meat, y'all. Let's go get to the meat real quick. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Welcome back, Carol.
Oh, my phone is dying. I had to put it to the fast charger really quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
It's time to get to the meat, and we know the ladies like the meat.
Ow.
Is that like, well, I'm not gonna ask you what city you're in. That's a nice view right there.
Miami.
That's a nice view right there.
Oh, thank you. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, man. I'm really feeling the logos in the back. Real talk, man.
I appreciate that, man. I drew them last month, man. I got busy on it, man. But yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Exceptional work, exceptional.
Thanks. You guys haven't already hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, T Channel Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. With that being said, let's go ahead and get to the meat. Like I said, we know the ladies like the meat.
Ow.
Get a hoodie that say that, man. Get a hoodie. Walking around the airports. Dating with a purpose. Dating with a purpose. I do want to get to the people that have not been for the precious first, for the lady, Carol. I'm gonna go to y'all first. Give y'all some talk time. I'm gonna let y'all know ahead of time.
Okay.
All right. I don't want HR calling me.
You could have just threw that at the bottom. We was already leading up into that.
Sweeney, you just greedy, man. You just greedy. Ever since you blew your nose and got yourself together, you a whole different beast now.
think the percentage of people that's actually dating for purposes nowadays?
It's a very small percentage.
I would
Everybody
think,
has so many options nowadays.
Yeah.
They don't care really to build this foundational relationship or generational wealth for their family or the children or whatever. People having kids and no one give a fuck who they having kids with nowadays. So I mean, like,
that's sick.
people are looking on social media, looking at other people's experiences, relationships, and wondering how can they get that. Or, you know, when one person do something wrong, they're ready to jump to the next person. There's no real commitment out here.
There you go, man. That's the me right there. Dating with a purpose. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Miss Precious, what are your thoughts, man?
We have to date with purpose. We have to date with purpose. And dating with purpose means that you know your purpose first. I think a lot of, and I'm going to say women get caught up in just having a man. And then when she gets him, she doesn't know what to do with him because she barely knows herself. She wasn't raised to really deal or handle a man. That's why a lot of women have trouble even liking men because they don't even know what to like about the man other than what he does for her. You hear a woman, oh, what do you like about him? Oh, well, he buys me this, he takes me here, he does this for me. That's not dating with a purpose. That's just a man having resources and spending them on you at the time because you may not even marry this man. Dating with a purpose means you know your purpose, which means when you align with him and when you guys are together, he's able to articulate his purpose. And if those purposes align, then yes, that's the purpose of you dating and collecting that data from him. And dating is collecting data. It doesn't mean we moving in. It doesn't mean we splitting bills. It means I'm collecting data and you're collecting data. But you have to be able to know your purpose and be on your purpose. And that's it.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Lady Di. What are your thoughts about it? Dating with a purpose.
I feel that if you're not dating with a purpose to be in a relationship, then become married, then you shouldn't date. You should just have friends and do whatever you want. Because if you start dating and you're dating people that actually have good intentions to be married, you're just living a lie, and then you're promoting something that you don't want, which is causing a lot of conflicts with other people, which that's why domestic violence is happening. People are getting very angry because they're not getting the things that you're, portraying that you are, which, like I said, I believe is dangerous. So if you don't want to, finalize the decision making and have this life with a man or a woman, then you shouldn't do it. And you shouldn't have kids if that's not your goal. I believe like the term is changed now. Dating now is not with the purpose. Well, it is with a purpose, but it's the purpose to have sex instead. I think that's weird only because, how did we all get here? We got here, right, through sex, and then they had kids. So if you're like stopping the purpose of that, then you're like destroying everything. So I think that people should just take their life more seriously. Stop watching reality TV and thinking that that's real life, and just understand that it's entertainment, and let entertainment be entertainment, and let, your life speak for itself, which is, having something that's more prosperous. So stop dating with purpose of sex and date for a family.
All right, Miss Carol.
Okay. Well, he said that there's no commitment out there nowadays. I couldn't agree with him how society right now is hard to find maybe a partner that will actually commit to you. I think we should be more intentional about what we're doing with other people. So if I meet somebody, I should have some intention with them, or I should be setting a possible goal. If we decide to commit to each other or be together, we should have a short-term goal and we should have a long-term goal. It shouldn't be like, oh, we're just doing this right now and see how it goes. You should have, both of you guys should be en route to something. So I feel like a lot of people in the dating world right now are just doing whatever just is fun or whatever makes them feel good at the moment. And once it isn't, great and amazing anymore, or the honeymoon phase dies down, they retract and then start over again. So a lot of like short, pointless relationships are constantly like developing that are not getting anywhere. So I really think that people should focus on a plan, a future for their life. Like, I'm gonna find somebody. You don't know exactly who the person is gonna be, but I'm gonna find somebody that is like this, that does things that I'm into, or whatever is your focal point, or whatever you're most passionate about. Try to find somebody that is meeting that. So you have to be intentional who you're gonna be engaging with and who you open the door to your life, because people bring changes in your life. So I could meet a man, and based on his attributes and his personality, he can change the dynamics of how I live my life. So I have to be more careful who I open the door to, that can literally steer me in a whole different direction, not where I was trying to go or what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. So yeah, we have to definitely be intentional, have a purpose, and yeah, have a goal, short and long.
All right, Sweeney, what are your thoughts about that? Dating with a purpose. You heard three of the ladies on the panel break it down, and you saw the video. What are your thoughts, sir?
I would say, it sounds good, but we all know that's not the reality out here. Nobody's doing that. And I agree that we should be dating with a purpose, but the reality is that everybody's in it for themselves. Most people are selfish. They want what they want in that moment, and they don't care about the consequences after the fact. And the proof is in the pudding. Like I said earlier, you can just look at the response for how these conversations are happening and what people are saying and saying back in response. And it's not good. Everybody wants to do what they want to do. Every time it's, you can't tell me nothing. I do what I want to do. I move how I want to move. I'm independent. I'm an individual. I don't need you. And what you get is a bunch of people who's going to live this world by themselves. And I know Ali mad at me for saying people. But that's the reality of it. Nobody cares.
Smoke.
And the thing is that the only thing that's going to happen is the people that do is going to do, and the people that don't are going to get what they get out of it, which is single, either a bunch of kids out of wedlock that don't want to rock with you later on in their life because they tired of you depending on them after you done lived your entire life not getting somebody, or you're going to die alone by yourself. Nobody.
Sweeney, was that a mic drop?
Nah, it ain't a mic drop.
Okay.
It's just, man, it's just how I feel about it, man.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Fantasy Island Girl. What are your thoughts? I'm gonna go to Ali.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think people are dating with a purpose anymore. And when I was out there dating a little bit after I broke up with my boyfriend, I realized I wasn't on the same page as what people were on. I met my boyfriend during COVID, and it was when I was getting divorced. So it's like I wasn't used to the dating scene, and I didn't really know how to fit into what it turned into. So I just went back to my man. He was a great man. There's no reason for me to be out here playing in the streets. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think people are out here looking for love, looking for marriage, looking for anything but sex. And it's kind of scary to be out there looking for marriage today, I think. So
my question
I'm
is,
thankful for my man.
why did it have to take that though?
Because when we moved apart, I thought that was a sign that we needed to find people in our own locations, because I want somebody that can be local with me. But I realize that's not realistic for the career that I'm in and the career that a lot of other people are in. So I compromised because he's a wonderful man. He treats me wonderfully. My kids love him. My family loves him. I love him. So it's like I compromised the distance thing, which I really hate, because he's the perfect partner for me.
So y'all still apart right now?
Mm-hmm. We're working on getting back in the same location, but that's going to take years. So we're just going to be patient.
You don't date long distance?
Yeah, we're long distance dating now, but I didn't used to. I don't believe in that. Well, I believe in it now, but I didn't believe in it before.
All right, go ahead, Ali. What are your thoughts about it? Dating with a purpose.
JR says it every show, and it's so important to hear the method behind the madness, right? JR broke it down to me about why he says ladies love the meat, right? Y'all been thinking it's sexual, but it's not sexual. So you got to listen to that man and what he's trying to pour into your heart. That's what JR does every show. Y'all didn't get it, right? So ladies love the meat, which means relationships equate to great sex with purpose. Sex without purpose leaves you independent of everything we all need in this life, which is each other. What defines great sex, you ask? A woman building a union with a great man, because ladies love the meat when the sex is about a man and a woman building great families with great sex that prioritizes the man, woman, and child. So great sex. That's what the purpose of dating is.
Nah, that's a mic drop. Well,
and JR broke it down to me. He broke it down. I get it now, JR. I get it.
All right, we're gonna go to here's Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny.
Here we go.
Why do you say here we go? I don't have much to say. I really
come on.
Ladies spoke to me really because family is very important in my life, and I think that when I was going through my hardest times, I kept reflecting on like family. I just really wanted a family. I wanted that happiness in family. I wanted an amazing husband. I wanted, children that we raised to be good people. And I feel when you're in this world and you see how damaged it has gotten and how cruel it is, the only thing I strived for after that was, okay, what do I do to be a good person, then a good partner? And God just aligned that for me. And that's why when she specifically said dating with a purpose is like dating to get your family, I felt that because I had that now. And like, there is nothing that really could happen that puts me in a mindset or brings me all the way down that my family doesn't save me from. And that my man doesn't save me from as well. But my family is such a strong suit. You're going to be hit with, life circumstances and, fleshly things because it's inevitable. We can't help that. But I definitely, when I started learning to love myself and learning to heal, family was like, okay, when I'm dating, if I can't even see procreating with you, then no purpose. So that's it.
Walker, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How long have y'all been engaged and what's stopping y'all from getting married?
Nothing other than it's personal. It's I have my baby and it's nothing between like it's a I don't know, y'all said air, but y'all said, about
it's
like
personal, like she said.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I don't know. Now I feel like even something I normally would say, I don't know if I don't know. It's nothing huge. We've been engaged for a year. We're getting married. Like we're getting married.
It's personal.
Friends for 4, engaged, like we're getting married. It's nothing.
Would you guys go to the court?
Is it personal? Is it personal as in there's something
Yes,
stopping y'all? Or is it personal as in y'all just not doing it because
what else?
No,
y'all waiting for something?
It was something. Yeah, it was actually something stopping that. Like, but that is on its way, and we're like, it's not about a wedding or anything. Like, we're gonna go to the court, but it's.
I hope it don't.
I
think it is.
Okay.
Like, I could look off screen. I could tell y'all it's not a big deal. Like if I told you, you'd be like, I understand. But
I'm gonna give you some advice. Take it from somebody who did do it. Me and my wife waited 10 years before we got married. Damn. And once we did it, we sat there and said, why didn't we do this sooner?
Yeah,
And
no,
we
it's
we pushed it back for the
Sweeney, you
most.
know why you ain't? It took you 10 years. Don't do that.
no.
We ain't finna compare the 2 years to the
Sweeney,
10.
we
Like,
talking
that's
all this, man.
extreme.
Come on, Sweeney. Come on,
No, I
man.
know exactly why it took
You
us
weren't
10
ready to be
years.
tied down. Now, go ahead.
No, I know exactly why it took us
Well,
10 years.
I'm
We kept
curious
Try to
if
tie
you
that man down.
we kept saying, okay, after you finish school, all right, after we get this job, all right, after we move here, all right, after we do this. And we just kept pushing it back. And then when we finally, now the last thing we said that we were gonna do before we got married was move to Dallas. And you know what I mean? But once we moved to Dallas, that's when I proposed to her, we got married. But once we did it, we was like, damn, what's the difference now than when we did it? Then we could have done it 10 years ago. Why did we wait? And what really made me realize that was that I went to a friend's wedding this last year in September, and I was talking to his mom and them, and she was like, and we told him, was like, yeah, we've been together for what is it? It's 14 years now. I think it's 14. No, it's 12. 13. And the first thing she said was, that you can't claim marriage over that period of time. We can only claim the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And it fucked me up. Because I'm like, damn, man, I would have been one of those people that got on this panel and tell y'all, man, I've been with my wife for 14 years.
You
still can.
That's true. Because
We'll say lady that real quick. Quick question. If it all fell apart today, would you run to go get married fast again, or would you do something else?
Give me 1 second.
Who? You ask me or her?
You. Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you
That's
this.
why you waited 10 years. That's why you
I'm gonna be real with you. If this don't work out,
exactly.
I ain't doing it no more. If this don't work out, it's over with.
Man. God, boy.
I'm about to hit that gym.
Exactly.
City boys up.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say real quick, for example, my husband proposed to me like I think it was like a Monday. We got married on a Friday in the courthouse. It don't take long. You just go. It's very simple. And it's no different.
I disagree with all of you about the dating with the purpose. I think everybody's dating with a purpose. But what's the purpose? The purpose is the dudes want the buns and the women want the funds. And that's what they're dating for. Guys are dating to smash, women are dating for cash. That's what they're doing out here right now. If you look at it, that's exactly what they're doing.
But aren't you going to get ass and cash when you're in a relationship anyway? So why not just wait until...
A lot of folks today are too inept to understand that. Because you got to realize when you start talking about a long-term relationship and you start talking about marriage, now you're talking about responsibilities. Now you're talking about something, especially marriage, something that you just can't easily get out of. I mean, you could try to easily get out of it, but there's a whole process you got to go through. So it's different.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you will be right that the purpose, they are dating with a purpose. The purpose is ass and cash.
Cash.
I don't even think it's that though, because how many chicks are getting money out of the people they're dating? I think that both sides are in it just for the attention.
What?
Why do you think what people do?
Validation. That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
Sweetie.
think about it. What people do online is they don't want one like from one person. They want a bunch of likes from a bunch of people. And they do the same thing when they're dating. They want a bunch of people to like them. That's why you get people who will get online and they will make sure that like women, they will make sure they dress half naked around dudes because they want a bunch of dudes to tell them they're pretty. But I always tell people, if you're pretty, you show your face. You ain't got to show your ass. I always found that odd. But like the people who tell them, there are people who are in relationships right now. And I'm going to tell y'all, and many of y'all might know some. They're in relationships right now. And they get more validation from somebody online telling them that they're pretty than the person in their real life telling them they're pretty. You want to know why I know that? Because they'll spend more time online than with the person in real life. These are facts. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you can say, I've spent more time with people online than I have with that person in real life, you just prove what people are dating for. People are dating because they constantly need that refill of validation. They constantly need somebody else. sex with multiple women in a week feel better than sex with one woman multiple times. Why? Because if I'm having sex with one woman multiple times, I feel like she may be settling, maybe I'm settling. But if a bunch of women want to have sex with me, well, that's validation. Same thing with these women. If a bunch of men want to take me out, she can go brag. Last week, this guy went me to this restaurant. This guy, it's a validation of I'm important and people want me. That's it. There's nothing else that people doing. I call it DNA. It's digging attention.
That's deep. That's
is
deep.
the number one currency. People are not dating for anything. That we always try to make these shows and act like people are trying to date to marry and stuff like that. And like I always tell women, not always tell women, but you can look at like when women say they're engaged and they've been engaged a long time. If a man want to marry you, he gonna marry you, and the woman ain't gonna say, let's wait. Let's just be real. If y'all two are in love and you say, let's get married next month, ain't nobody gonna say, well, let's wait 2 years. No, they're gonna go ahead. And typically a man is the one putting that thing off. And when I'm putting marriage off, it's because I don't want you, but I want to keep sleeping with you. That's what I do. I've been engaged a lot.
Hey, you got to speak for yourself on that one.
Shoot, I've been engaged several times.
How many rings did you buy?
Rings from Amazon.com. They look good and they cheap.
No,
Have you ever been married?
You swear that I was one of them.
Have you ever been married?
That with rings from me. They can fuck around and put them together and form Voltron. They could.
Have you ever been married?
Hell no.
Red flag.
How women brag about not want to be married all the time? Fantasy, come on, now, gotta be the same. Come on, fantasy, gotta be the same.
It is a red flag. You've been engaged plenty of times and you've never been married. It's a red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag. They're gonna let you know I'm not gonna marry you. I'm gonna get you all the way to the finish line.
It's gonna waste your time.
That's a lot of engagement.
Your time, you still got something out of. Well, wait a minute. If you say you're gonna waste your time, you've been married, you've been divorced. Apparently, you wasted your time and you wasted.
No, I want to be married again, so I'm gonna get married again. I'm marriage minded.
So by that logic,
he
you
was
want to be a
married.
serial marrier.
I'm not a serial marrier.
No, I'm saying,
but I'm not going to be perpetually single.
Well, no. If the end result is you're saying the guy's wasting your time if he don't get married to you, cool.
Yeah.
That guy married you. He didn't waste your time.
No, he married me.
Oh, so divorce is better than not getting married. I get it.
Divorce is better than wasting your time. We
Are you wasting my time? Because last I checked, when I get in front of the pastor, I said till death do us part. And now one of you niggas dead.
I'm not a Christian.
What?
And I don't believe that. But I do believe that
I don't get married to get divorced.
Name
who got married to get divorced. Can somebody name somebody who got married to get divorced?
Nobody's getting married to get divorced. You're not getting married to
just name somebody who got married to get divorced, and we'll go from
kind of rabbit hole.
Janet Jackson, but other than that, people don't get things.
If you don't get married to get divorced, then you wasted my time. If you divorce me,
no,
you did. If I got married forever, you divorced me. You literally wasted my time. I could have been with somebody else that wasn't going to have me in divorce court.
Hey, fantasy.
Who's not going to have you in divorce court when half the marriages end in divorce?
Come on, man.
That's not real.
Hey, the host,
divorce is very, very
fantasy,
common.
Yeah, I'm trying to take the mic back.
Oh, sorry.
She didn't know. She didn't know, JR. She didn't know.
I'm about to get some more technology inside of here. Man. Shouldn't be loud like y'all. Man. Angry man should just be screaming. No, it's almost about that time, man. I mean, we typically at about 12. So we'll have to try to bring it down.
You've been lazy. You trying to leave. I get it.
Cool.
Man, JR, these panels used to last like 5 hours. He be cutting us off at 3 hours and 45 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? He trying to
said enough is enough.
We used to go through the morning, JR. What happened?
He trying to have order.
1 a.m.
I'm 54. What you expect?
Hey, look,
you don't have a real life. You 54.
I'm trying to make it sound like you was a sinner and I got
54.
Yeah. Like Beijing do justice, man. I'll be up
I
here.
was saying Beijing.
The same face that Tommy had, that's what I had when he told me he was 54 the last time. I was like, 54?
I still don't believe it. Nobody believes that, JR. So
54. I just don't. You can look at my face and tell life did me dirt.
Nobody.
Somebody asked me my age. I forgot. When you get that,
I was gonna say, Junior, that Tej Hanley is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm about to give me some.
Tej, shout out to Tej.
Feel the tea.
What's that code again? What's that promo code?
Yeah, I need some of that.
JR54. Like,
How long it lasts?
Huh?
How long does it last when you put it in?
What you talking about?
He talking about the days. He talking about the days.
Yo, that's good. That's double entendre. That's a
You get
double
about 3
entendre.
days out of it.
I mean,
I know you get about 3 days.
3 days. All right.
It all depends on if you're a washer or not. If you wash every day, then
you get a day and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, it washes out.
Yeah.
No, it don't. It don't
It's not immediate.
No,
It
not.
just
It's a dye.
Just for me.
It's just a natural dye. It fades.
I believe in my white
Hey,
product.
like that teas work
love
like
it.
that shit that work in the fruits and make it last longer. That teas make you last long in the bed too.
The cream?
Wait a minute. The stuff that color your beard make you fuck longer?
It's all in the teas, man. Just order your kit, man.
Oh, I was going to say, wow, that's I don't
You
know
ain't
how
promote that.
Teach sales about to go
You make
up.
your beard
No,
you
man, they about to go up. You need to promote that part of it.
Somebody said use.
Yes.
He has some product
in my
called
beard.
Pulse.
They're about to stiffen
He'll
under
break the
my
internet.
beard.
They all gonna be suing JR. He said we're gonna get the fuck
People gonna be having heart attacks. People gonna be having heart attacks.
Somebody said use JR54 as the
Nah, you want to do it. I'm gonna drop the link for y'all, man. So y'all go get y'all this tea. This tea's done wonders, man. It's multi-purpose. It should be in the black community.
You know what's crazy though?
So if we last harder than 4 hours, we supposed to go to emergency room. If you last longer,
No, you're supposed to call an extra woman.
I know someone that happened to, and I cannot.
If
you go longer than 4 hours, you're supposed to call a few women up. Hey, y'all, I'm still ready already. Let me have a 4-hour erection.
Pressure, you really knew that? Was he hurt?
Yeah, he was.
Like you knew him? Like Pressure, you knew him?
Shut up, Ali.
You gotta get rid of the doctor.
He was in the hospital. Supposedly, it's very painful. You know, he had to get a shot in order.
In the penis, they shoot it in there.
Yes, yeah.
You too, Candace?
And you
I
watched
just heard. I just
No,
heard.
I didn't watch it. No.
Look at Pressure.
It's getting a little weird, man, right now. I don't know what's
Change the topic. We're talking about penis and teeth.
Yeah, topic.
Yeah, the teeth, baby.
Yeah, we need to spend that much time on there, but we gotta go, man. We gotta get up off here. It's 12:19 my time, 1:19 for some of you folks, and it might be
It's Central Time.
Yeah, it might be 10:19 for some others. It's on the East Coast, but West Coast. So with that being said, man, who gonna take us home on this one? Who wants the final thoughts?
Let's go ahead and give it to Angry Man, man.
That's what I thought so too. Come on, Angry Man. You've been cooking, man.
Cooking all night. Let's go ahead and let Angry Man take us home.
Go ahead, man.
Dating with a purpose.
Final thoughts, dating with a purpose. Yo, it's just like Tommy said, they have a purpose, but the purpose is not the right purpose. So people are dating with a purpose. They just dating either they want to get buns, they want to get money, or they want to get attention, but they're not dating for the right purpose. They're not courting. Put it that way. In this day and age, nobody courts anymore. They're just hooking up with each other, and it's a mess. That's my final thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, I guess we got time to squeeze Tommy in there.
Yeah, I don't know why you look. Give Tommy the
icing on the cake. Tommy, come on, let's go.
Give Tommy.
Bring us home. Bring us home.
All right, Tommy. 30 seconds. Tommy, 30 seconds.
No, Tommy be doing them Jerry Springer.
I'm about to say, give me 30 seconds. Okay, here's the thing. What you want to date for is you got to come into it just like with business or anything else. What is your goal of getting out of it? And maybe we can date with like-mindedness. Date people who want the same thing that you want. I heard a woman tell me, I don't tell men that I want children when I first meet them because I don't want to run them away. I said, but do you really want children? She said, yes. I said, well, then you do want to run away people who don't. Many of us will have people in our circle that we date that we know don't want what we want. And you know what we'll spend our time trying to do? Change them. You know why? Because it's more exciting to be with somebody that you feel like you got to change their mind than somebody who you're like-minded with. So that lets you know that we are kind of off. And we're not seeking stability. We're seeking instability.
That was a commercial. Yeah. That sounded really good.
I can hear. I can hear the music in the background, Tom. You remember the music you used to play? I can hear it in the background.
I'm doing what I want to do. You tell me what I got to do, I'll do it. And because I stream with a purpose.
I hear the presidential
No,
music.
that's right.
All right, there you go. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in to Lapeef. I super chats real quick. Let me get through these.
Almost forgot.
Yeah, all seeing that. I'm supposed to believe in these women on the panels who say they are different, but defend bad women and their choices to death. Very sus. Carlisle says, now you women understand how much dudes have to go through, so just take them draws off.
Oh Lord.
Some women cross way more boundaries than a Greyhound bus crossing state lines. So magically, it's not universal knowledge to know to not show up to a date on time and at your best for a good first impression. We get it. What does it say? What does that mean? White men? Have a supervisor?
Yes, it means
white man. Yep, we get white man had a supervisor.
Y'all got to be a little bit sharper there. I have a reason. I got my card, so it's understandable why I might be delayed a little bit. But y'all supposed to be on point on the panel. Chad, do you want turkey? No. Hamburger? No. Okay, fuck it. First time fuck it spell like that. Does dating for purpose matter? If our women only show their value to be nothing more than great sex, wives get eaten up early, and that's a fact.
Damn.
She's so lucky. 499 said tip for the fine ass chocolate fantasy and my twin lady die. I think it might be all the super chats for the night. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Hi, Lady Di DTM. Did you have any witnesses when you went to the courthouse? Also, did you have a big wedding later on? If yes, how long it took? You guys want the whole scoop done?
Everything about the wedding.
So real quick, I didn't have any witnesses. Yes, I had a big wedding 6 months later, and it didn't take long. Just go to my page, go to my channel.
No, he not.
199 is JR, really 54. Yeah. I am. That's it, y'all. I was looking at some shit. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow everybody on the individual platforms. Angry Man has a YouTube channel. Real Precious does. Lady Dad does. Fanny Silent Girl does. Tommy does. Carol doesn't. Sweeney has one. Ali has one.
I'm the only one.
Sweeney, I'm gonna come support you, man. You solid brother, man. I ain't know you was like that. You a solid brother,
Y'all
girl.
talking shit.
Yeah,
That's why it's
solid
called
brother,
shoot my shit.
His panels are perfect.
Damn shit. Got some more shit coming in. Gail and Knight with the 199 super chat. Shout out to Gail. She's a phenomenal moderator across these platforms. She supports everybody. And she does her job well. The best I've ever seen on here. And that's no cap. Chike Auto LLC 499 says, please remember we are raising the future parents, not kids. Tommy. Sotomayor is the realest ninja alive.
Like, hey, look at you try to
so,
yeah, like you want to smile about that one. Made it night.
Well, I want to say thank you guys again. My apologies for keeping you over. I know I tried to get us off at 12 when we extended a little bit more, but it was a great dialogue tonight. Phenomenal perspectives. Y'all make sure y'all enjoy yourselves on this Thursday night. Catch y'all next time. All right.
Good night, everybody.
Happy Easter.
So I'm gonna go all the way up. They keep my phone. They catching on to the buzz. I got it out of the mud, but I'ma go all the way up. Bad girl from the store. Taking me out of okay. So I'ma go wave. Nice guy with a cold shoulder. You be cool, but I don't know you. Wrote a flower and I'm off the potion. Give me superpowers that I won't stop. To the bank roll on supermassive. Big bank for the space chatter. Way up in the squad NASA. Cup filled with the dark magic. Subtle flex when I run a race. Tell these rap niggas eat my dust. Lil baddie off the cellular. Talking life and I we set it up. I'm a sharpshooter. Yeah, Will Smith. Call me Prince Park. Let me freshen up. Bay boy on the level up. Way up near the nebulas. I'm never copping a chain. Cause I see it all through the frames. And I leave it all on the page. It's feeling like they want me locked in a cage. They want us all in the fake shit. But I'ma go all the way A.
I'm come back and go live over here.
Spray the champagne shower up in the air. Stunner goggles, what the fuck is a flute? Untamed and she wild off the goose. Ghost ride, bitch, I come through the roof. Fuck 12, cause they all on my tail. Hella wild and I break all the rules. Chill, bro, you way out of line. Yeah, I know it's a mood. Bitch, I'ma go all the way up. They keep calling my phone. They catching on to the buzz. I got it out of the mud, but I'ma go all the way up. Bad girl from the shore. She taking me out of this world, bitch. I'ma go all the way. Got the spinning, got the gator spinning. I'm outrageous with it, going crazy with it. Got the phrase jumping off the page, gifted. Got the waves pushing, got the neighbors tripping, got the trap booming, jumping out the speakers. Drip on me, jumping off the easel. Gold wristed, couldn't tell me shit, bitch. No, bottle fisted. Cooking the bars, turn a lab into a living kitchen. Niggas grimace when I water whip it. Subtle flexing to the candid image. Come from pushing in the S type with no license, gas load, the windows tinted. Still couldn't see me with the zoom on your little vision. Nah, we are not the same. We got different lenses. No one snapping like we something real vivid. Keep it realistic. Fuck the split it with my day ones. Got the label making bank runs, cause a train of thought like a freight, huh? I'm the type to get a late start. You the type to be afraid, huh? I'm the type to never have things. You the type to have it made, huh? Yeah, wave. And I keep you to the flame, huh? How they got me going this hard? Really, I'm the type to never say much. Vice grip, got the game clutch. Every song make the stage rush. I always said making money might change things, but never let it make us. Bitch, I'ma go all the way up. They keep on calling my phone. They catching on to the buzz. I got it out of the